everyone, and welcome along to the Sporty Show. Champions League football is upon us once again. Yes, no time in between. It's the round of 16, and one match has already kicked off. Club Brugge, underdogs of the tournament so far, are being held by Aston Villa 1-1 as it stands, but about 30 minutes left in that match. We'll keep you posted as the show goes on. I'm your host, Sarah Pararia, and I'm joined by the lovely Angel here. Not KlintonCod today, guys.
But big shoes to fill. I mean, sitting next to you. It's supposed to be Clinton Sport. It's okay. Glad to be here. I mean, so many big games we played tonight, and the biggest one of them all. It seems like a game that should be a final, but we are meeting it in the round of 16. Very surprising one, but giving the underdogs the opportunity to also show themselves. So it's great to be here, and also supported by Alex.
Good to be here. I'm excited for this one. I've been counting down the days, I think, ever since we knew this draw was going to happen, and Madrid Derby's are brilliant, whatever they're in. La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League. Tonight's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, Angel, you said this feels like it could be a final, but there's a few. We have the Madrid Derby this evening. Tomorrow we have PSG and Liverpool. We also have Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen. We have a lot of really good matches today and tomorrow, so we're very excited that you guys are joining us for them. As mentioned, Bruges and Aston Villa underway 1-1, and then tonight it is Real Madrid hosting Atletico, as well as PSV and Arsenal. And finally, Dortmund hosting Lille. But this is what we have coming up on Sporty TV this week. We always have you covered, guys. On Thursday, we have the Saudi League with Al Qadsiya versus Al Ittihad, Melbourne City versus MacArthur. Friday, we have Cristiano Ronaldo in action with Al Nassr taking on Al Shabab, as well as Deportivo La Coruña and Cordoba in La Liga Hypermotion. On Saturday, it's Cordoba in Argentina versus Boca Juniors. The J-League has Osaka taking on Nagoya, Melbourne Victory versus Central Coast, Coventry City versus Stoke City, and it's Brighton and Fulham in the Premier League this weekend, with Freiburg taking on Leipzig over in Germany in the Bundesliga. We have Kyoto versus Fukuoka and Cercle Bruges versus Club Brugge, who are in action as we speak. Real Betis and Las Palmas will be your La Liga match of the weekend. Juve taking on Adamada Lukman and Atalanta over in the Serie A. And we wrap it all up back in Argentina with River taking on Atletico Tucumán. So lots and lots of football, as always, guys. But tonight is about the Champions League. And as we mentioned, yes, it's the Madrid Derby. Alex, do you have a little bet maybe?
I do. So I've gone for a 2. I've gone for 1 for the 3 games. I've gone for Borussia Dortmund and Lille to have over 2.5 goals in that game. I feel like there's going to be some action. PSV and Arsenal, I've gone for both teams to score. And then Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, I've gone for over 3.5 bookings.
Ooh.
I've also done a specific one for the Madrid Derby, for those of you interested in putting on a bet builder for that one. So over 2.5 goals, over 3.5 bookings, Kylian Mbappe to score any time and both teams to score for that one. So 2 interesting bet builders there, and hopefully both of them come off, and I'm confident. I think we're going to see a lot of goals and Kylian Mbappe to score again like he did against City.
All right, well, let's ask the man himself, Mr. KlintonCod at the Santiago Bernabéu. Will Kylian Mbappe score this evening?
Well, he's not just going to score. He's going to score 1. He's going to score 2. And maybe, who knows, some kind of hat-trick by miracle against an Atletico Madrid. Let's see.
All right, Clinton, how are the vibes outside the Bernabeu right now? Obviously, me and you were at this match just a month's time ago now, it feels. Atletico and Real Madrid in La Liga. And now you're back again for the Champions League. What are the vibes like?
No, absolutely. In as much as the weather is not the best today, it's been raining. People have been trying to find shelter, but it's not stopped them from giving out that really high volume kind of screaming. Everyone's literally been in a very happy mood, because it's almost like they've seen the future. They think Real Madrid are going to come with a lot of goals this time around. It's quite unfortunate that the star boy Bellingham is not there to do something about that midfield. But, you know, Real Madrid, irrespective of not having 1 or 2 players starting the game, they always find some kind of way to win. I understand that Atleti is that team that would always cause some serious problems, but you know, we just hope that it's not going to be the kind of results that we've had, you know, in the last couple of draws that these two teams have had. Real Madrid for the win, in my opinion.
Let's go over the lineups, Clinton, because you mentioned obviously Bellingham out with disciplinary points, as well as Dani Ceballos, but this is what Carlo Ancelotti has gone for here. Thibaut Courtois, it's Fede Valverde who's going to be playing that left wing position, Raul Asensio, left back, Raul Asensio, Rudiger, and Ferland Mendy, with a middle consisting of Brahim Diaz, Tchouaméni, and Camavinga. And up front, it's no surprise, it's Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr. Before we jump to Atleti's lineup, Clinton, how do you feel about Brahim Diaz sliding into that midfield?
I mean, in my opinion, Sarah, it's a very dicey one. And I've gone through social media. I've gone through my WhatsApp football group, my WhatsApp football group as well. And people are kind of saying, wait, hang on, what is going on? Why is Brahim Diaz starting when you have somebody who's got serious experience? Since you don't have Jude Bellingham, you have Luka Modric. Why is he not starting this game? But then again, you know, Brahim Diaz has been that guy who would always give you some kind of performance that you would least expect. Now, do I have faith in him? Of course. Do I have faith in the team? Real Madrid, the forward, is probably the best in Europe as we speak. If we look at the defense, probably best as well. Now, midfield, in as much as it's very important in football, you know, when you have good forwards, you have good defense. Most times, you know, it's pretty much job nearly done. Brahim, Camavinga, you know, there's those two is a kind of dicey, but I just want to believe that they are going to come into this game knowing this Champions League football and up their game, you know, to that level where you would expect them, you know, during their prime. I mean, it's sad to say that there was their prime and maybe now it's not. But this is Real Madrid, like I said. You know, I'm hoping that they would pull some kind of stunts here and deliver some kind of win.
Angel, what are your thoughts on Brahim in the middle there?
I think when you're playing against a Diego Simeone's side, which is a very physical side, you think of strength. You need a player who can force attack and who can also mark the ball. Now, Luka Modric is a fantastic player like we know him to be. We know what he can do. But in a game of physicality like this, and at his age, you need somebody who can chase for the ball. And that's where Eduardo Camavinga comes in, or Aurelio Tchouaméni. Those people can actually win the ball back. Then you need someone as well who can also force the ball forward. Something that, you know, with Jude Bellingham, you have someone who plays like a box-to-box midfielder. He's at the back, he's in front. Now, in his absence, you need someone who can force those attacks as well. And that's where Brahim Diaz also comes in. And then he can also, with that physical strength of his as a youngster, also help with winning the ball back. Now, when you look at this Atletico Madrid setup, you're looking at Rodrigo de Paul, you're looking at Carlo Simeone, Pablo Barrios, Samuel Lino, Julian Alvarez, and also Antoine Griezmann. These are very, very tough players. These are fast players. These are quick players. So I understand Carlo Ancelotti's thinking as to why Luka Modric should, for now, be kept on the bench. And then watch how things play out. Then you know the necessary changes to make. I know he would make some appearance at some point. Yeah. But I think that on the strength of physicality and how Diego Simeone's team plays, you need people who can run, win the ball, keep the ball, and also force attack.
Absolutely. Alex, let's go over Atleti's 11 here. We have Oblak, Galán, Langley, Jimenez, Llorente, Simeone, Barrios back in the lineup, Rodrigo de Paul, Lino, and Griezmann and Alvarez up front. When you see this lineup, who do you think is going to be the most dangerous player for Atleti at the Bernabéu this evening?
I mean, I'm looking at that midfield. I think that'll be the key and where the battle is won and lost. And looking at Pablo Barrios and Rodrigo de Paul, Pablo Barrios having a few disciplinary issues recently, getting sent off against Leverkusen and then against Celta Vigo. And it's not exactly like they were harsh red cards. They were deserved, and hopefully Simeone will be hoping that he can put that behind him and play an important role tonight, because I think that's where this game will be won and lost. If you can control that midfield and control the possession and dominate the opposition, in this case Real Madrid, that's where this game is won and lost. However, we all know, no matter how much pressure you put Real Madrid under, no matter how much possession you have in a game against Real Madrid, they're always there and they're always going to be looking for a chance to score. And we've seen City go there and dominate games and then lose. This is the big thing about Real Madrid. They're able to soak up that pressure. They don't panic. They know that they're going to have their chances, and Atleti have to be patient. They are experienced playing against Real Madrid, and of course the last 3 games between these two sides have ended in 1-1 draws, and tonight I think perhaps could go a similar sort of way, but I think it was a big question. I asked Rodrigo de Paul himself about it. How do they win that battle? And I think in that midfield, that's where it's won and lost.
Before we go to that clip of Rodrigo de Paul, Clinton, I'll ask you, does the likes of Julian Alvarez and the form that he's been of late, seemingly to get better and better and better for this Atleti side, does he make you a little bit nervous as a Real Madrid fan?
Honestly, in every team, you always have that person that makes you nervous. And fact is, Julian Alvarez happens to be one of them for Atleti. And it's not just even Julian Alvarez. You're speaking about the likes of even Griezmann. Now, I'm very happy that the guy who is currently on that goal-scoring rampage for Atleti, Soloff, is not, obviously, he's going to come maybe from substitution. Now, if he was there, I would even be more scared because we know how much that guy thinks about Alex and just decide to say, you know what, let me just pump one goal for my boy. But gladly, obviously, he's not starting. Now, Julian Alvarez, the guy who's very fast, he knows how to move the ball. He's always moving like some kind of spirit. He disappears here and there, and he's able to manipulate defenders. When you look at that Madrid defense, Rudiger, obviously very huge trust in him. You know, you look at Asensio, who is currently the guy who is literally pumping out, showing that he deserves that central position for Real Madrid. Now, there is some level of hope to say Julian Alvarez might not be able to break into that defense. However, you know, you can never say never. The guy is very fast. You know, he's always proven that he's the guy for Atleti. And in my honest opinion, is one guy to be scared of. Griezmann, another person who has extreme vision. He knows where to drop in that pass for Julian Alvarez. There's some level of chemistry that these Atleti players have among themselves that, you know, in my opinion, the selection that the Madrid coach have you know, brought in to face them, you know, it's one of those that kind of like scares me. You know, I heard Angel saying something about that whole fastness, you know, having Brahim Diaz starting there. I understand that, you know, it's a very good point to think about. But then again, in my opinion, not having looked at Modric and that experience that he's had playing this kind of games multiple times in his career, you know, him not being there to start the game is where I believe Atleti might decide to take advantage of. We've seen Camavinga, Tchouameni, you know, sometimes they can be clumsy. We understand they are very good at winning balls, they are very young, but at this point, is this what Madrid should be looking at? I think Madrid should be looking at experience at this, you know, point in time. You know, coming back to your question, I am scared of Julian Alvarez.
Thank you.
I forgot what the question was.
Yeah, wrapping it back up. Well, Clinton, it seems like a lot of our viewers here on YouTube are commenting that Modric does not need to start this game. In fact, disagreeing with you, saying that he'll likely make an appearance around maybe the 70th minute mark, and Day is really going after here. But we know that Alexander Sorloth is also one of those players that he doesn't start these games. And it's not something that you can say, well, I'm, you know, happy that he's not getting the start, because Sorloth is a substitute player, Alex. Like, we know him as a player that comes off the bench and he does exactly what he needs to do. So I think from a Real Madrid point of view, I wouldn't just write that off just yet, because once that 75th minute crawls around, the tall Norwegian man tends to be coming into the game.
He does, and well, we've seen Atleti. It was the game back at the Metropolitano earlier in September where they equalised really late on. I think it was Correa with that late goal, and of course at the Bernabéu they went ahead first. But these games, especially Atleti, I can't remember how many, but I think they've scored about more than 10 goals after the 90th minute this season.
Yeah.
And that 15-16 game winning run they went on, quite a few of those were winning in the last moments. So, like you said, you can never count out Atleti. I think the only thing that might change that tonight is the fact that there's a second leg. And if they're 1-0 down, I don't think they're going to go hell for leather to try and get an equaliser, because they know that their second leg is still to come, and they're at home, they've got their crowd behind them, so I think that might play into it as well.
Clinton, sorry, I heard you trying to get a word in there.
No, I mean, I literally was going to say that, you know, I mean, you guys have heard me countless times on the show. I'm the guy who believes in bring out the best. You know, it doesn't matter if, you know, you're bringing them in from the start. I understand that there are players whom they are better off starting from the bench. But, you know, this is a very important game. You remember what happened to Manchester City, where at some point, you know, people felt like, hang on, why starting Omar Mahmoud from the beginning when he's one of your most terrific player. Obviously, Haaland in that game he was injured and he didn't. Oh, I think there was something going on with Haaland. He didn't come in, and we saw the effect. And people felt like, hang on, wait, why don't you bring them in at some point? But you don't bring in this kind of players when it's almost too late. In my opinion, if I was a coach, this is how I act. I bring in the full bomb. I bomb you. And, whatever happens in the end, if I want to start bringing in the rest of them, that's fine. But, like I said, this is an important game. This is Champions League. Look at Modric is the guy who has the experience. He's almost like a father to these kids on the pitch. They need some level of control. And this is what I look forward to in games. Like I said, he's been there. He's done it. There's literally nothing you would ask Luka Modric in this kind of situation that he's never been through. So, in my opinion, I would have loved to see him start this game. Sorry.
Okay, so you're more so referring to Luka Modric as opposed to Alexander Sorloth, just to get that clear. Well, Angel, we will see, what is going to happen with Luka Modric. I do think we will see an appearance from the Croatian in maybe
Definitely.
70th minute, like Markandé is saying. I'm going to ask you now for a prediction in this match. Angel, we'll start with you. We know that there is a second leg, and as Alex mentioned, that one is at the Riyadh Air Metropolitano. So, at the Santiago Bernabéu this evening, what are you thinking?
I don't think it'll be a high-scoring affair, as we've seen in recent times, especially with the La Liga games that they've had. The 2 consecutive games they faced ended in a 1-1 draw. So I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go with a 1-0 victory.
A 1-0 to Real Madrid.
To Real Madrid.
And do you think you have a goal scorer?
No, I'm
No,
not.
whoever, somebody. Just
I'm
somebody.
gonna go. It could be anyone between Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappe, or Vinicius Junior. Honestly.
Okay. Before I get your prediction, Alex, I'm going to go to Clinton for a reaction on Angel's prediction, going for a 1-0 Real Madrid win. Clinton, thoughts?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I think if she's hearing it from any god from above or anywhere she's heard it from, I think they didn't tell her properly. I think this one is going to be a high-scoring affair. I'm seeing more like a 3-1. I'm looking at the Real Madrid midfield. Listen, in my opinion, any team who would perform better this evening will be scoring at least a couple of goals. If it's going the Real Madrid way, I see 3 goals. If it's going the Atletico way, I'm seeing 3 goals as well. But I'm going to go with Real Madrid 3-1. Hopefully 2 goals for Kylian Mbappe. Maybe 1 from Rodrigo, who I do hope. He's such an important player, and I believe he's very underrated for the club. For Atletico Madrid, I probably see Julian Alvarez dunking in that one for them.
Okay, so you're also going for a Real Madrid win, but a more convincing one at that, which leads me to Alex Ashmore.
If the last 3 hadn't ended 1-1, I would have gone 1-1. But you can't have 4 1-0s in a row, can you? Surely not. I mean,
It's 2 legs. That's what I think makes the difference here. If it
well,
were
next
1-0
week to end 1-1 as well.
No, we keep going. No, I think that's what kind of makes me think that this evening isn't going to be as big of a clash. I do think maybe it might end in a draw. You're saying not as many goals. I agree with you on that, Angel, because I think the fact that we know the return leg is just a week away, that usually the first leg tends to be a little bit more calm, a little bit more conservative. Real Madrid are missing some players. I'm not sure. If anything, I think Atletico might come out swinging in this one because they know that they're at the Bernabéu and they have to go back home then for that return leg, which they're going to feel safer at. So if they can manage to go up a goal or 2 in this game, they're going to be sitting in a good position. Make sense? But anyway,
I think I agree with that. I think also you could flip the coin over to the other side and say Real Madrid know that they're going to the Metropolitano next week and they want to try and get this tie done is a strong word, but as far done as they can. And obviously they'll have Bellingham back next week, but I think Atleti could also look at this opportunity and think if we get an advantage heading into the second leg, we can make the most of that Bellingham absence and try and put pressure on Real Madrid tonight. I think there's going to be a goal fest tonight. I agree with Clinton. I'm going to go with a 3-2 win for Real Madrid.
Wow, the ladies versus the men this evening. You guys are going for the goals, and we are not. Hopefully you guys are right, though, because, of course, we want to see goals. A couple of you here on YouTube, we have Lucian saying Real Madrid 4, Atleti 1.
Wow.
We also have Adeyoan saying Real Madrid 1, Atleti 2. Amos saying 2-1 in favor of Atleti. So we're seeing we're seeing goals for sure, but no one seems to really know which way they're going to go. Clinton, I think this is going to be a draw. I feel it. I think this one is going to be...
Sorry to disappoint you. It's not going to be that.
Oh, it's going to be a 4-0 victory for Atleti. I wouldn't be disappointed then. Clinton, what are you going to do if Atletico win this game? What would happen to you if Atleti win this by a great margin of, 2+ goals? Let's say 3.
Well, first of all, I can tell you for free that you're not going to be having a post-match interview from me. I'll literally just pack up the cameras and go sleep at home. It's that simple.
Brilliant. All right. Well, hopefully our producer was hearing that and gets on to you for that one. But listen, Clinton, we'll let you go and have fun as we're watching here on the screens. The players are warming up already on the field. So get in there and go enjoy the match, and we'll connect with you whenever we can get you back.
Assuming Real Madrid wins, yeah. Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy it.
We'll see you at halftime. Just reminding you of your job. Okay, goodbye, Clinton. All right, guys. Well, we're torn here between the three of us anyways. Alex, you're going for goals, but I just wanted to let Clinton go and get settled there. But do you want to go into it a bit more on why you think there's going to be so many goals in the first leg of Champions League, which we don't see as much. Mind you, we know that this is a massive match.
Yeah, I think coming into this game, it's a completely different game than with derbies. Form goes out the window. I think, yes, Real Madrid lost at the weekend, not the way that you want to come into a Champions League game like this. Atleti beat Athletic Club, a good win, but this will be a completely clean slate. It's as if Saturday was 4 months ago. They've since Sunday reset, and they've been preparing. Obviously, yesterday, Vinny and Ancelotti speaking to the press, and then Rodrigo the Paul and Simeone, and talking about how these games, for Simeone said it himself, that for the city of Madrid, this is massive. Obviously, a Madrid derby in the league is massive, but in the Champions League, it's 2 Spanish teams putting on a show for the rest of Europe. And I think the expectations and what's at stake tonight, the possible ramifications for both sides, like I said earlier, in terms of Real Madrid wanting to take an advantage, a lead to the Metropolitano, Atleti trying to make the most of that Bellingham absence and winning that midfield battle and putting Real Madrid under pressure. I think both teams will come into this and think we can really take this game by the scruff of the neck and come into the first 20, 30 minutes. And if we grab an early goal, who knows, by half-time we could be 2-0 up, and then we see the floodgates open. So I think both teams will be going for it tonight. Yes, there's the second leg, but I think both teams will be just wanting to make the most of this opportunity to try and, for their own reasons, to try and get a lead into this, or coming into this second leg next week.
Of course. Angel, do you see the loss that Madrid had over the weekend play into this and the way they're going to change their tactics?
I think Real Madrid in the league and Real Madrid in the Champions League is a different Real Madrid altogether. And then when you're playing at the Santiago Bernabéu, the atmosphere is crazy when it comes to Champions League game. It's entirely different from but the league and the Copa del Rey. So I think they would have put that behind them. Whatever loss that they suffered against Real Betis is far behind them. And they would just focus on the game, because you can only focus on what is in front of you and deal with what is in front of you. It's going to be really tough. I think Real Madrid has the mental strength, that is for sure. And Carlo Ancelotti would have already spoken to his guys to say, okay, let's leave the past in the past. Let's even forget the fact that we're without Jude Bellingham, who's going through a suspension. Let us just focus on what we have in hand, and we're going to see Real Madrid come out all guns blazing. You know, we talked about the fact that Atletico Madrid will want to squeeze something out of this game. Real Madrid will understand that when they go to the Wanda Metropolitano, it's also going to be tough. We know how the deficit plays a role, and then you going back home to play at their own home ground is going to be difficult for you. So the best thing that you would do is to get a result out of this game. A win will put you in a comfortable position, at least. Or at least a draw. If you're going to end up with a draw, don't let it be a high-scoring affair. Let it just be a few goals conceded at home while you wait to see what you can get at the Wanda Metropolitano. So, like I said, it could be anyone's game in this particular one. Wait to see how it goes after 45 minutes, because that would dictate how the next 45 minutes is going to be.
Yeah, and a reminder, guys, we are here with you for that match, for the watch-along. We'll be keeping eyes on the other matches as well, but we know that this is the big one. Alex, you got a chance to ask Carlo Ancelotti, actually, about his tactics regarding this match.
Wasn't me, actually. I wish it was.
Oh.
I wish it was. No, we were at the press conference yesterday, and we were listening to what he has to say. Vinny was talking about the game, and Carlo Ancelotti was asked about perhaps the differences between facing an Atleti side and a City side and what that involves tactically. So hopefully we can have a look, hear what he has to say.
It doesn't change a lot. Of course, we have to take in consideration the characteristic of the team, the opponent team. Atletico is more vertical. Maybe you can use more than City the counter-attack. City has a game with less possession from our side, and so we have to take in consideration this, but we don't have to change our style, our mentality, and our approach to the game.
Well, there you have it, Alex. Seeming pretty...
Yeah, I think when you look at, he's right, there are two different games and two different teams. I think Real Madrid will have obviously studied Atleti in depth this week and gone into many different scenarios of what could happen in this game. But I think the big thing is, and we see it a lot with Real Madrid and perhaps why they're so successful, is they concentrate on their own game and how they can put their strengths to the forefront of this game and put perhaps Atleti's weaknesses on show. So I think it'll be a cracking game and a different one to the City one, I'm hoping, because City didn't turn up in that second leg at the Bernabéu. I think Simeone will come into this game knowing what's at stake, and we're going to have a cracker at it.
Just an update here on Aston Villa and Club Brugge. Aston Villa have scored, and it was Michele. Oh, no, it was an own goal from Michele of Club Brugge. But there's about 5 minutes of regular time plus added time. So let's see what Club Brugge can do, because I don't know about you guys, but I think they have been the better side so far in this match. Alex, I told you this one wasn't going to be as clear. I know this is right now in favor of your booking code. So for that, I'm happy for you, but I did not think it was going to be as easy as expected. I just stopped. Is there a penalty being called? Sorry, guys, we are watching a live football match, and I think there might be a penalty going against Club Brugge, and that was a foul against Matty Cash, but I'm just trying to figure out if it was a foul or a penalty. Just watching the replay here.
It looks like it could be a penalty. There was contact.
There was contact, but that... A little light for me, but it will be a penalty for Aston Villa. Okay, we'll keep you guys posted on whether that's converted or not. But okay, let me get this right, Alex. You did get to speak to Rodrigo de Paul.
I did.
All right, now tell me about that.
Yes, so I've been talking about that midfield battle and perhaps the absence of Bellingham, and I asked Rodrigo de Paul what is the key to winning that tactical battle, and well, let's hear what he had to say about it. Hi Rodrigo, Alex Ashmore here for Sporty TV. Tomorrow Real Madrid will be without Jude Bellingham. What do you think are the keys to winning that tactical battle in the midfield? Thank you.
Well, you'll have to ask the coach about the keys to the game. But obviously Bellingham's absence is an important one for Madrid. But in the end, it's Real Madrid. They have high-quality players with a lot of experience playing in these sort of games. And what I can say is that the team needs to be at 100%, focused both mentally and physically, knowing that it will be a very tough tie, both physically and mentally, but we are both ready and excited for it.
Just before we get back to Rodrigo de Paul, Marco Asensio to convert the penalty for Aston Villa. My, oh my, this player has come into this team. 2 goals now for Aston Villa. Angel, he has settled into this team very well.
Very, very well.
They're trusting him to take a penalty.
Exactly. And that's to show the quality of player that he is. I mean, Unai Emery knows, everyone knows what Marco Asensio did with Real Madrid. You know, he may not have stayed there for as long as some Madrid fans would have expected him to, but we know the quality of player that he is. And when you look at him in the Aston Villa setup, how he just fit in like a glove immediately he joined the team, hit the ground running and has been consistent. You just expect him to be the designated penalty taker. He stepped up to the occasion in a big game like this in front of the home crowd of Club Brugge, and he converted that one. It looked like he was almost going to take a sleep, but he just made sure that he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. It was a brilliant penalty, in my opinion, and that has given them a comfortable lead against Club Brugge. 3-1.
3-1, and they're heading to Villa Park next week. Club Brugge, as I mentioned at the top of the show, arguably the biggest underdogs in the Champions League round of 16. It's going to be difficult for them to come back and, you know, get a win here tonight, but maybe, Alex, maybe at Villa Park, maybe it could be, because they did put up a good fight until I apparently jinxed them about 5 minutes ago. But let's talk about Rodrigo de Paul and what he had to say.
Yeah, I think obviously a little bit of a joke at the beginning there, telling me that he'll have to ask Simeone, and obviously they would have planned for this. But I think I agree with what he said in terms of it's important that Bellingham is out in terms of the significance it has on tonight's game, but they'll know, and he said it himself, they're an experienced team. They've got a lot of quality players in that midfield, not just Bellingham. You look at the replacements and the players that do start week in, week out, and the forwards. We don't need to talk about the forwards. We all know how good the forwards are. And I think similar to what Ancelotti will have done this week, I think Simeone would have come into this knowing that, yes, Bellingham's out, but Real Madrid still offer a lot of threats, and they have to deal with those threats, and they want to put their strengths to the forefront as well and try and get the most out of Julian Alvarez, because he's been brilliant for them this season, over 20 goals in all competitions this season, getting that winner at the weekend against Atletico. And yeah, I think the more they can put him in the limelight, obviously we saw him get that cheeky Panenka penalty against Real Madrid at the Bernabéu not too long ago in the Madrid Derby. And
do Messi celebration.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So, no, if they can put him in the limelight of the attack, and, well, if not, if it doesn't work, they can bring on that Norwegian lad, Alexander Sørloth, who we all know is a big fan of scoring late goals.
Exactly. Could it be today? We will find out. But let's move along, because the Madrid Derby, even though maybe the biggest match, it isn't the only match, because Dortmund are hosting Lille. Lille, another surprise, guys, in the Champions League. They were able to secure a spot in that top 8. They didn't have to play any knockout football here. They made a really good name for themselves, Angel, and they have proved a lot. And now they're heading to Signal Iduna to take on Dortmund. Now, Dortmund are an interesting team here, guys, because they are a team that seems, to be doing very well in the Champions League. But then when it comes to the Bundesliga, we've seen a massive drop this season. Angel, what are your thoughts on this one? Is this going to be an easy-peasy win for Dortmund at home, or...?
No, it's not going to be an easy one for them. I mean, they're playing any team that is taking part in this round of 16 game is a very tough opposition, as we have seen. And, Borussia Dortmund are coming into this one. Things are looking good for them, because under Niko Kovac, after the playoff round, they went on to win 6-0 against Union Berlin. And the man that you see there, Sehu Girassi, he converted 4 in that one. So he's actually in good form. If he can step up tonight, I mean, he can do it. He scored in 5 consecutive Champions League games before the goalless one that they played in the last game. But I think this is the man to watch out for. And also, Pascal Gross, that they have on the side. When these two come together, the partnership between them is actually amazing. And I'm looking at the back line of Borussia Dortmund as well. Schlotterbeck, Emre Can, Julian Ryerson, and Daniel Sevsen. These are fantastic defenders. So you would fancy them against a Lille side. Like, on paper, you would fancy them to be better than Lille. But then they are playing against a side that the coach also understands, because Girassi did play under the coach of Lille. So he's conversant with him, Bruno Genesio. He made his debut under him and runs. So he's somebody who knows this player. He knows the tactical things to put in place to say, you can stop this player. And I think he's not going to focus so much on Girassi, because he has a Jonathan David, who is also outstanding, playing in that top position. Fantastic player, has been converting so many chances for this Lille side. And, it's going to be a really, really tough affair, because also the coach I'm looking at the coach of Borussia Dortmund, Niko Kovac. He also was the coach of Monaco in the Ligue 1. And we saw him, watch this. He's played in the Ligue 1. He understands the way that Lille play and the Ligue 1 teams can play. So it's going to be really, really difficult, like I said. But I would fancy Borussia Dortmund to get something out of this particular one. Not just because they're playing at home, but because they have the players to do the job.
Yeah. Alex, would you agree on that, especially since we do know that Zagrova and Thiago Santos are out for Lille, and obviously the fact that they are playing at Signal Iduna? Yeah,
Diakite and Ribeiro have got their work cut out tonight with that Girassi strike force. Obviously, Gittins, we know how good he is, Brandt as well, and Adeyemi. It's a dangerous front four, if you like, and you hit the nail on the head, really. They've been, I don't want to say awful in the Bundesliga, but they've been very disappointing this season in the Bundesliga, and they've been mostly a different side of the Champions League. Obviously, we saw them quite comfortably brush aside Sporting Club de Portugal in the playoffs, and Girassi obviously being the figurehead in that attack in the first leg. And I think they'll come into this game as the favourites. I think when you look at the matchup and the players, obviously Lille will take a lot of confidence with those wins against Real Madrid and Atleti in the league phase and know that they can perform against the big teams. But I think Dortmund, especially being at home in this first leg, they'll have too much for Lille, and similar to tonight for Real Madrid, they want to make the most of that home field advantage and get some goals in.
Are we, although looking a little bit over Lille here and the fact that, you know, they've been one of the surprises of the Champions League this season. They qualified without needing to play any knockout football, as I mentioned. I don't think anyone had them in that top 8. They converted 22.7% of their chances in the group stage, which is more than any other team, more than Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid. And I think if they qualify out of the round of 16, it'll be the first time in the club's history. There's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of motivation. There's a lot of records. Mind you, John David, if he scores tonight, he will be the top scorer for Lille in European competition ever in the club history.
There's a lot of money to be won as well. If you bet on Lille, 6.05 odds of 6.05 for Lille to win tonight. Dortmund are 1.60 favourites. I mean, you want to have a punt?
And people keep forgetting that in this campaign, they've had a very impressive campaign. They beat Real Madrid, they beat Atletico Madrid that we were talking about. They also beat Feyenoord.
Yep.
So they've had an impressive run. If I were you, I would take Alex's advice.
Maybe.
A little sprinkle on the dogs? Come on, guys. No, I think there's a lot for this Lille side, never having gotten out of the round of 16, what that would mean for this club. You know, I know over the weekend people are going to say, well, they lost 4-1 to PSG, but this is a different competition. And I think we do have to not, you know, just brush them under the rug. I am going to give Dortmund the edge simply because they're at home, and we know how crazy Signal Iduna is and what that 12th man does. I think if it was maybe another you know, stadium arena, I wouldn't be saying this, but I don't think it's all going to come down to this evening, because I think the return leg, I think Lille could actually win this draw with the second match being at home for them. But Alex, let's also talk about Serhei Guirassy, because would anyone have expected that he would have been the top goal scorer for the Champions League so far with 10 goals?
No, I mean, he's been fantastic, hasn't he? And I think quite a lot of clubs might be clambering after his signature this summer, and I'm looking at a certain club in red in this last 16 tonight that could be.
They're never going to do it.
For a striker. It does require getting your checkbook out, so we doubt it there. But no, I think he's been fantastic and brilliant to see. I think he's been that shining light for Dortmund this season, where it's been so difficult, and they performed quite under what their fans would have expected, what we expected as journalists. And you look at his capabilities going forward. He's so dangerous. He's quick. He's strong. He can hold up the ball. He's got a powerful shot on him, and I think he's really going to be one to watch. In a couple of years, we could see him playing for a big club. Maybe not even a couple of years, maybe in a couple of months.
Well, speaking about that club in red, they are also in action tonight. Arsenal taking on PSV. And let's just take a look at the lineup before we break down these two sides. PSV at the Philippe Stadion, and it's going to be Benitez in between the sticks, Ledesma, Flamingo, Boscali, Malathia, Saibari, Schutten, and Thiel in the middle with Perisic, Luke de Jong captaining, and Lang. And for Arsenal, some shining lights here for, oh my goodness, the coach's name.
Mikel Arteta.
Mikel Arteta. It left my whole mind. David, no, my good, what am I doing?
David Raya.
All right, guys, I've lost my mind. I just need to be watching football. David Raya, Lewis Skelly back in the lineup, Gabriel and Saliba in the middle there, and Timber with Rice, Partey, and Odegaard forming that midfield. Leandro Trossard, Mikel Merino, and Ethan Nwaneri also returning. Alex, a couple of good things we obviously see for Arsenal here. Nwaneri's back, Lewis Skelly's back. Mikel Merino, even though playing out of position, has been doing all right as a kind of makeshift striker for Arsenal. Do you think that they have enough this evening to get an away win?
I'm doubtful. No, I think obviously you look at that Arsenal team, Ethan Nwaneri, we've all been really impressed with him this season. He's been one of the youngsters, I think one of the top youngsters in the Premier League this season. I've unfortunately had a bit of an injury problem this season as well. Trossard's been hit and miss. I think he's perhaps not lived up to the expectations coming from Brighton. He's had his moments where he's been brilliant. I think earlier on towards the beginning of the season, we thought he was a bit of a super sub, and then he started more often and hasn't quite found his consistent form. we know how good Odegaard is, obviously the leader of that midfield. And I think Mikel Merino leading the line, yes, he got those 2 goals. It's been, I think, very makeshift, and obviously that's to be expected. But it just screams back to that January window and that summer, selling Eddie Nketiah, not bringing in a replacement, losing Gabriel Jesus, losing Havertz. It's the naivety of not bringing him back up and then selling Obi as well to Manchester United. So I think Arsenal, they should have enough to get through this tie. I think PSV will be a danger. We saw they played really well against Juventus and were able to put a few in the back of the net in that second leg, and it was an entertaining tie, perhaps one of the the most entertaining of the night. But I want to lean towards Arsenal. I think they'll have enough to get the win and go through over the 2 legs. Don't think. I think it might be a draw tonight.
Angel, do you agree? I mean, we saw Alex obviously brought up the PSV win against Juve, but should we really be taking a win against a Juventus side right now that is struggling to win games, struggling to score goals? The fans don't want this coach, Thiago Motta, as part of that team. Juve are not in a good situation across the entire team right now. That the PSV win, although impressive, should that give us enough of a boost to back them against Arsenal?
Well, it will give them a boost, but I don't know about us. It won't give us a boost because we are looking at a side. This is an Arsenal side that, yes, they have struggled in recent time. They're without Bukayo Saka. They're without Kai Havertz. There's no Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli. So when you're looking at the front line, it's not the expected front line that you would see. But each and one area, when he steps up, he can create those chances. And we've seen Mikel Merino, what he came on to do for the side when he was given the opportunity to do so. It's going to be a really tough one, but Mikel Arteta's men would know something, which is the fact that they do not have any chance. There's no opportunity for them in the FA Cup. There's no opportunity for them in the Premier League. This is the only front where they can compete and get something. And when we are looking at the round of 16, they would fancy their chances against the side because you're looking at a Real Madrid that met Atletico Madrid at this stage, and you're getting a PSV. Although PSV is coming into this with the mental strength that they beat a Juventus side, but you will look at the fact that it's Arsenal, for crying out loud. And this Arsenal side, they have also met in this campaign, and Arsenal got the win over them in this particular one. So it's going to be dicey. It's going to be really difficult. But if Arsenal can keep their backline really, really organized with the likes of William Saliba and as well, and control that backline to make sure that they don't give PSV any chance to get an early goal, manage the game properly, I think they should be able to get something out of this game, probably a win.
Yeah,
if I say so.
Yeah, so you're going to back Arsenal to win, even though it's an away game. Alex, Luke De Jong, Perisic might have been, all right for especially their age in the Champions League. I mean, Perisic, especially in that last match against Juve. But as Angel mentioned, with the likes of Gabriel and Saliba, that should be enough to stop those two, considering that is, one of the best partnerships in football defence right now. Yeah,
I think that's perhaps one thing that Arsenal can lean back on this season is defensively. Most of this season they have been fairly solid, and I think when you look at that PSV front line, yes, there's threats in there. I think Noah Lang played really well against Juventus. Luke De Jong is an experienced striker, and Perisic as well. I think the experience as well of having Gabriel and Saliba at the back, they're used to playing together. They've built up that really good partnership over the last couple of seasons, and Arteta would have been drilling it into them tonight and in the previous few days leading on from the weekend, and he'll know that this game is vital. If they're going to stay in this, they have to keep, I think 1 goal is probably the maximum that they can afford to concede, because if you're looking at conceding 2, yes, if you score 2, it's a different story, but you concede too many in the first leg, it makes that mountain a little bit too high to climb when you come into the second leg. Yes, it's at the Emirates, but you want to come into that second leg with a level playing field or even a lead. So, yeah, I think that will be really important for Arsenal tonight if those defenders can perform. I think the bookies are agreeing with me. SportyBet odds of an Arsenal win, 1.97. I think quite good odds. PSV at 4.30, so I think definitely Arsenal are the favourites coming into this game tonight. Yeah, across the last 6 matches for PSV, in all competitions, they've only won 1, not in the best form. Obviously, neither are Arsenal, but is it also fair to say that, Angel, Arsenal, even though it's not mathematically, are out of that Premier League run,
and that they now can put all their eggs into this Champions League basket?
Yeah, the only thing they should be fighting for is just a spot for the Champions League for next season. That's what I would expect them to fight for. To focus their attention and trying to catch up with Liverpool would just be an effort in futility. I would say they should put their eggs not all in one basket, because that would make them lose the Champions League spot that they could hold on to. But they should actually give their best to the UEFA Champions League. They stand a chance. Who says they can't win? We've seen who say they can't go on to win. They should just hope that the big
can
boys
win the Champions League?
No, of course not. Of course not. But you want to give it your best run. You know, you're coming back after a long time of being out of the Champions League. You're back again. You should be making a statement to say, okay, we might not win it this season, but we're sending a message to all the teams that in the next season you should watch out for us in subsequent seasons. So, what a better way to make that statement other than to do it against PSV tonight?
Alex, if Arsenal does win this draw, 2 legs.
No.
Are you backing PSV?
No, I thought you were going to ask if they could win the Champions League. So.
No. I was going to ask you if they could beat the winner of Real Madrid or Atleti, because that's who they're going to have to face if they get through PSV.
If it's Real Madrid, no. If it's Atleti, I think they could. I think when it comes down to Champions League, the big nights, I've said this over and over again, and we'll continue to say it, Real Madrid, not always, but they come out on top. They're playing their 500th game in European football tonight. They've won 301 of those. That's unbelievable when you look at the history that they've had. Obviously, 15-time winners of the competition. I think Real Madrid will be too good for Arsenal. Having said that, I do think that they could come into a tie against Atleti and pick up a result. I think Atleti have been known over the last few years to go into ties and look like they can go through. We saw it against Dortmund last year. They had that brilliant win at home. They went to the Signal Iduna Park and threw it all away. Too many times we've seen Atleti throw ties away, and I think Arsenal would look at a tie against Atleti and be confident about picking up a result. But I doubt it, especially without a striker. If Saka was back then, maybe it might be a different story.
It begs the question, who is the least trustworthy team right now in the Champions League in these 3 matches? Because we have a Dortmund, who we saw last year, who we thought out of nowhere is showing up, and then everything crumbles. We have an Atleti, who you've mentioned time and time again. We've seen get to finals, doesn't happen. And then we have Arsenal, who consistently seem to be letting the fans down, whether it is in Champions League or the Premier League. Angel, I'll start with you. Out of those 3 sides, which of those 3 do you trust the least?
Arsenal, actually. To be honest, like the flatter to deceive, we've seen it. Whether it's in the Premier League, where they have been, trying to make a statement in the past how many seasons since Mikel Arteta joined them. It's just been they're almost nearly there, but just never make it. So you would say Borussia Dortmund but we've seen Dortmund in recent years. They've been trying to take a stance in the Champions League, maybe get to the quarterfinals. Previous seasons, even get to the semi-finals, even. But Arsenal is just one team that you cannot just trust. You can trust them. They can surprise you on some days, and then at other times they can just disappoint you in ways that you cannot imagine. So I'd say Arsenal is the most disappointing, in my opinion.
Alex?
It's a tough one. I don't want to say Arsenal. I really don't. I think when you say say the question again.
Least trustworthy.
Least trustworthy.
Yeah. Like,
Without being
these 3
diplomatic
teams,
about it.
they all play today, and they could all win. But I also think we can make an argument to say they could all lose.
Yeah.
And also not go through.
I think it is Dortmund. I think given how disappointing they were under Nuri Sahin this season, yes, Niko Kovac has come in and they've slightly turned things towards or into the right direction, but I think Arsenal, the experience that they have, perhaps with the players on the night, especially when Saka comes back for a potential quarter-final. Yes, this is last 16 at the moment. It's a different story with him not in the lineup tonight. And I think Dortmund, yes, on their day can be really good, but we just haven't seen that enough this season. They've been really disappointing. They're flirting with the bottom half of the Bundesliga table, and they have been in the bottom half. So, yeah, it's got to be Dortmund for me.
Okay. Well, we're about 10 minutes out, guys, from the kickoff between Real Madrid and Atleti, PSV and Arsenal, and Dortmund against Lille. My goodness. It's been a long day. Pardon me. Alex, can I ask you one more time for that booking code that you have already you have one win.
Yes. So my first one, I had Aston Villa to win. We posted it on social media earlier. But my 3 other picks, Borussia Dortmund and Lille, I've got over 2.5 goals. PSV and Arsenal, I've got both teams to score, and then over 3.5 bookings in the Real Madrid Atletico game. And then for that Madrid derby, I've got over 2.5 goals, over 3.5 bookings, Kylian Mbappe to score anytime, and both teams to score. So,
all right.
Some interesting bets there.
Definitely some interesting bets, guys. Head to SportyBet and check out Alex's booking codes, because so far, so good. Aston Villa won 3-1 to Club Brugge. First match is done and dusted. Okay, now I've asked you, just to go over this again, for your predictions this evening. Angel, you went with Real Madrid to win. You said a 1-0. You've gone with Dortmund to win. You think they can get enough. And then you went with Arsenal to win as well. 3 wins?
I hope so.
Okay. And Alex, you've gone for Real to win. Let me just, I did have a draw. I think I was writing my prediction down.
Yeah.
Dortmund to win and Arsenal to win.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, you two have the exact same. Okay. I'm going to ask you now, who do you think is going through? I want to ask you guys before the first leg kicks off so we can look back at it next week and say, well, you know, Lille lost 5-0 or something crazy potentially. But Alex, we'll start with you for this one. Who's going through in these draws?
Same answer.
Same answer. Real, Arsenal, Dortmund.
The only one that I doubt, I think Dortmund, Arsenal and Real Madrid will all go through. I think perhaps the only doubt I have on the win tonight is Arsenal. I think that could be a draw. Maybe, I think that's the only one that I'm doubtful on tonight's wins, but I think all 3 sides, Dortmund, Arsenal and Real Madrid, will go through to the quarterfinals.
And Angel, are you going to say the same thing?
Yeah.
Those 3.
I think so.
I feel like we're overlooking Lille. I think that's the most standout to me. I know Atleti and Real Madrid are obviously 2 massive sides, and you can always back, the opposition if they are a massive side. And Atleti this season have proven to be incredible. But I think it is always hard to go against Real Madrid in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So I can understand. Okay, Real Madrid, Arsenal against PSV across 2 legs. I think Arsenal have a little bit more behind them in terms of their players, in terms of experience, in terms of coaching. But I think in 2 legs, if it was one off, PSV could do it. But I think we are overlooking Lille here. I think Lille have done an incredible job getting to this point. I think Dortmund have proven time and time again that they are not consistent. And if it wasn't for Serhei Guirassy, where would this team be? Yes, I know you mentioned Jamie Gittins and Karim Adeyemi, but he has 10 goals, Guirassy. Where would he be? Where would Dortmund be without him, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, they'd be probably at home watching this on the TV.
Is it not fair, though, to say that if somehow Lille can, close down Guirassy, close down the option of him, and, play that counter, like you mentioned, Jonathan David has been in incredible form. He wants that record to break this evening. That Lille can get this and go through in 2 legs, especially the second leg is at home?
I can see it. I think the like you said, the advantage there of having the second leg at home. They beat Real Madrid at home. They beat Atleti away. So they've got some big scalps, both home and away in the Champions League this season. I think tonight at the Signal Iduna Park, Dortmund have that 12th man. We talked about the influence that the fans have on games at home for Dortmund. I just see perhaps the experience in these big European nights coming through for Dortmund. We saw them got to the final last year. Yes, they didn't come out on top against Real Madrid. Not many people do. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you look at the players that they've got, Sabitzer, Emre Can, Schlotterbeck, Ryerson, Kobel, they've all been there and done it before. They've been in these big European nights. Yes, there are players in that Lille team that will bring that quality and perhaps experience in big games. But when you come to Champions League, it's a whole different kettle of fish. I think Dortmund I think they're going to go through.
But you say that, but then, like you mentioned as well, Lille beat Real Madrid, champions of Europe, and Atletico at the Metropolitano, which is a fortress. Like, I just think I get what you're saying, that these players, especially like a Sabitzer and a Brandt, they have the experience. But why are we looking at a team that's beaten 2 of the best teams in Spain?
Well, you're looking at it because of the timing. At what time did they do it? Like, you're looking at, this is the round of 16. It's the knockout stages. There's no coming back. What you do at the group stages or in the playoff round doesn't really matter. What matters is what you do when it comes to the knockout games.
But it does matter because you have to get to the knockout stage. And they didn't have to play, like I keep saying, they didn't have to play knockout football. So
I understand, but the Real Madrid and the Atletico Madrid are the same teams that are seeing the competition. That's what I'm saying. That they could have just, it could have been a breeze that this team didn't just show up on the day, and because you understand that they still have more games. If they met a Real Madrid or an Atletico at this stage, would we fancy them to go through? Despite that they beat them previously.
Yeah. I
mean, you fancy them to go through
against Atleti or Real?
Real that they play
but we're talking about Borussia Dortmund.
No, I'm saying that we're using that as a yardstick to draw it for now to say, oh, they beat Real Madrid, they beat Atletico, and I'm saying that at what stage, if they had met them in the round of 16 or at the quarterfinal stage, would we be fancying them to beat Real Madrid or Atletico? It was because Real Madrid or Atletico, they understood that this is just the playoff. This is the group stages. We can afford to relax. We can just afford to to hold back. We can afford to have a bad game. But when it comes to the knockout stages, there is you have to show up. If you don't show up, then you show out. Now, Lille on the other side, I'm not gonna write them off because I know that they've been impressive, and they could be the dark horse, despite all the players, the experienced players that Borussia Dortmund have. When you look at them man for man, Borussia Dortmund look like the better team. They appear to be the better team on paper. But this team has a very experienced coach. He has a side. They have a Jonathan David who has a point to prove. They have an Ethan Mbappe as well, who has been looking at his older brother and saying, I can also do the same thing. I can show people that I can do the same thing that my brother can do. So if Borussia Dortmund does not organize their defense tonight, they may suffer at the hands of Lille. They might suffer, and that could be a game changer, because whatever comes out of this game is a major determinant for the subsequent one that will be played. So I would, say, I still agree with you to an extent, but on paper, Borussia Dortmund look like the best team to win, but Lille could also be the dark horse.
Yeah. Well, I guess we will see. We are moments from kickoff here. Players are coming onto the pitch. I'm just going to go through the lineup of Lille and Dortmund because I think that's the only one that we missed this evening. So it's Kobel for Dortmund, Ryerson, Sean Schlotterbeck, and Svensson, Sabitzer, Brandt, Gross with Adeyemi, Guirassy, and Gittins. No surprise there. And for Lille, it's Chevalier, Ismaili, Alexandro, Diakite, and Mounier, Bouadi, Andre, and Mukwa with Mbappe, not that one, his brother, Jonathan David, and Harold Sin. All right, guys, it's time for the round of 16, Champions League football. My, oh my. I'm very excited, guys. I'm very excited. I know everyone has eyes here on Real Madrid and Atleti, but I'm expecting good football all around. We already have 4 goals in the first match, Alex.
There you go. It's going to be a good one. I think, yes, I'll have my eye on the Madrid derby, but Dortmund as well. Arsenal. Be interesting to see how Arsenal fare against PSV without a striker. The last time they played in the Champions League, they had a striker. This time around, they don't. I think it'll be a tough test for Mikel Arteta's men. Yeah, I think so too. I think so as well. And PSV know that they're also one of the underdogs. I'd say it's between them and Club Brugge, and it's a lot riding on them. There's a lot riding on them. Our friend KlintonCod at the stadium here in Madrid, at the Santiago Bernabéu. Can you imagine if it ends in another draw? I see it. I can't imagine it.
A 2-2 though, maybe. A 2-2. The last 4 matches between these two sides have not gone in favor of Real Madrid. 3 draws and 1 Atleti win. That being said, Atletico have never been able to beat Real Madrid in Champions League football, so it depends which way you're looking at it. And Kylian Mbappe has also been on absolute fire of late.
Yeah.
He's just getting into better form as the season kind of continues.
He's for the criticism that he has, that he had to face when he joined Real Madrid, because with the big signing that you are is Kylian Mbappe, everyone expected him to hit the ground running immediately. We didn't see that, but he has actually found his rhythm in that team. And then the partnership with Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo has also been phenomenal. And you look at how, if they show up, if the midfield works tonight, if they do not have to feel the absence of Jude Bellingham, I would expect him to get a goal in this particular one. It's Kylian Mbappe. If you're leaving out the Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, the next in line you will think about, or Neymar, is Kylian Mbappe. So I would expect that, tonight he would spearhead that team and try to get a goal for that side, inspire them to victory against a very tough opposition in Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a very interesting one. Alex Ashmore sure hoping that Kylian Mbappe gets on the board. Big booking code ahead here of this one. And 1 of 4 already hammered. Would you guys say that here?
No.
Oh,
I think
it's a North American thing. Hammer it.
What would I say? It's a good question, actually.
Hammer the bat?
No.
Like go for it. Or
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking, when you say hammer, do you mean
Yeah.
to put the bet on?
Yeah.
You'd say stick it on. Yeah.
Stick it on.
Stick that bet on. Yeah. I'm gonna
I feel
stick.
like that's what you guys would
stick
say
10
if
quid
you're
on
trying to woo a woman. You got to stick it on her.
Yeah, you would actually.
Okay, very interesting here. And
Well, maybe not in all circumstances, but
we are underway. First match has kicked off. PSV hosting Arsenal at the Philips Stadion. And let's see what the youngster Ethan Nwaneri will do for the Gunners in this one. A lot of eyes are going to be on him this evening. And there's Jude Bellingham giving his claps at the Santiago Bernabéu in the stands as he is missing this big draw due to disciplinary points. Missing a couple matches here lately in Champions League and La Liga. It's all kind of adding up around the same time.
Yeah. It's a good thing that he's 7 all at once. I mean, the one from the Osasuna red card, now he missed the Girona game, missed the Real Betis game. Now this one, 7 the suspension and all of that. So it's a good thing that he's coming all at the same time. So they know that when they have him, he's free on all fronts.
Yeah, everything's been cleared. The taxes have been paid.
Exactly.
All right, and it's looking like we are going to kick off at the... Does Ancelotti always do that before a match?
no, they just had a minute silence.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay. And then I just would have been shocked if I never noticed that. We are underway at the Signal Iduna as well. 10 seconds in, Borussia Dortmund hosting Lille. And, well, it's the Madrid Derby who is holding us back here. They will be the final match to kick off. We did see Eder Militao alongside Jude Bellingham. I feel like I haven't seen Eder Militao on the pitch in what feels like years at this point. Really unfortunate injuries for both legs of the defender. But nevertheless, we're going to be underway at the Santiago Bernabéu. Real Madrid taking on city rivals Atleti. Here we go. All right, guys, I want chaos, I want cards, I want controversy.
Yeah.
Chaos, cards, and controversy. That's what I want in this one. Let us know what you guys think the scoreline will end as. We'll read some of them out for all 3 games, whichever one you're watching, or if you're watching all 3 like us. If you love football that much, I do, like, if I wasn't working here, I would have all 3 matches on at home. Like, I am that person that I'm like, I need to watch everything, and especially in the Champions League when, you know, it all affects who's going to play who.
Exactly.
Especially now it's got to the business end of the season and it's just big teams left. I mean, with all due respect to perhaps maybe Club Brugge, Lille.
PSV.
Even I'd say PSV, they're bigger of the smaller sides.
Sure.
I still think even Club Brugge and Lille, they're still big teams in their respective leagues. Club Brugge becoming, well, alongside Anderlecht, one of the 2 big teams in Belgium. But the other teams, Real Madrid, Atleti, Dortmund, Arsenal, Inter, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich. I mean,
PSG, Liverpool.
Yeah, PSG, Liverpool. The list goes on. I think this has perhaps been one of the big things of this new format, where we've seen bigger ties earlier on. Yes, that means we might not see them later on, but I still think we're looking at a potential Real Madrid-Liverpool in the semi-final. How big is that?
Yeah.
We're looking at an El Clasico final.
We are.
We could see an El Clasico Copa del Rey final.
What would that be? It would be
5
the 2
this
league
year.
games, the Supercopa,
The Copa del
Copa del
Rey,
Rey,
and then the Champions League.
And then
If
Champions League.
Copa del Rey and Champions League do both go, obviously.
5 classics.
It could be 5 Clásicos. It's Christmas came early.
Exactly.
Like, no one's complaining about that, unless, I mean, you're a Liverpool.
I know
PSG.
when the new format started, you know, a lot of people, there was so much criticism. These players are not going to get so much rest, you know, you shouldn't do this. But now when you look at the fact that some of the teams that regarded as minnows, although they are not minnows in football anymore, like you would say, but the teams that you would not expect to see at this stage, when you see how having to go through that process has gotten them thus far and giving them an edge, a confidence boost, and, you know, made them to have appearances against the big boys, it just shows like the importance of the format and how well it has worked for the smaller teams.
Yes, but also if you guys do remember your predictions, you did pick Arsenal over PSV and Dortmund You're still going.
Yeah, they have to prove themselves. Prove yourself for the next season.
Angel's telling you guys. No, I think the thing is, I feel in the quarterfinals, we're still going to end up with the big dogs. I think it's going to end up the same way. And even though Liverpool finished top of the table, they had the best campaign in the Champions League. They're taking on PSG, who's coming into the best form of the season. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily play in the favor because you're playing, you know, the best or worst team in that qualifying round. I think we're still getting through the first season of the new format. So I think once we get to the end, we can kind of look at it in a better picture. But it definitely has been exciting. I think that's one thing we can say. It's been a lot of football, and it's been very, very exciting. 5 minutes have passed. PSV 0, Arsenal 0. No goals yet, but a chance for Real Madrid here. It's Rodrigo.
My word.
Wow, guys, I
What a
had
way to
that.
start.
I had that on the brilliant. Rodrigo, the man of the Champions League. For all those Real Madrid fans who keep forgetting about him, this is your guy. 3 minutes, 40 seconds into the Madrid Derby, and who else but Rodrigo has scored against Atleti. Alex, I'd like to watch this again and get your full opinion on this, because what a run that was.
What a run, what a goal. Bellingham said it earlier on this season, I think it was after the City game. He is perhaps one of the most underrated players in that team. That run, that shot, that was unbelievable.
Can I just say one thing here? And I'm realizing there's a one factor that's the same, and it's Javi Galán, because you think Javi Galán, who just got smoked by Lamine Yamal, and we know the pace of Rodrigo on this flank here.
Yeah.
He's not fast enough for these, you know, younger players that have the pace and have the ability to carry that ball. I think that's a real loss for Atleti. I really do. They need someone that has a bit more pace on that flank. But 1-0, nevertheless, to Real Madrid, guys, and we aren't even 5 minutes into the match. Angel, could it get a little scary here?
This is fantastic. I mean, I never saw that coming 3 minutes into this game.
No way.
And this will, in one way, destabilize Atletico Madrid. Like, they need to get back because they never saw it coming. You don't come into a game expecting to get, like, to concede an early goal. Now you have to, you know, get yourself back. You have to, like, speak to yourself. Get back your mentality. That's where the mentality monster, you know, has to come in. You have to just tell yourself that we can do this, and we still have, like, so much time into the game. It's just 5 minutes played, and then we can bounce back. But for all the brilliance of that goal by Rodrigo, you also have to question the defense of Atletico Madrid. You cannot go to sleep when you're playing against Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior, and Kylian Mbappe. And now we see another one again by Rodrigo. I don't know if that's a penalty.
Is it a penalty?
I don't know. We'd have to wait to see.
You pointed to the corner flag.
It was...
Javi Galán again.
I'm telling you, this guy is way too slow. Way too slow. They're going to pick him apart. I don't think so.
I think there's not much
there
in
wasn't
it.
much
He is
in it.
holding his arm.
Oh, I see.
I can see this being given, you know.
Yeah, I think it's the arm. From the other angle when you
What
didn't
a
see the
nightmare
arm.
start. 5 minutes in.
I'd sum him off
potentially
right there
2-0
and
down.
then.
I mean,
to be honest, I think that's it. If they go 2-0
Should we go home? Should
No.
we go to the stadium?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
No penalty. Wow.
It's not a
Okay.
penalty. I mean, it was too easy. I would have been surprised if it was a penalty anyways.
I'm going to read some of these predictions that I asked for you guys watching at home. Markinde says 5-0 to Real Madrid, going your way. Ice Cold says 5-2 Atleti. Atletico Madrid will win. Let's see what else. Oop, I've lost my spot here. 3-0, but they don't say who. Real Madrid to win 2-1. Okay, so far so good. We have 4-2 from Shaden, but they don't say who. Let us know who you're going for. Markinde says Hala Madrid after he sees that goal. Good Hope says 5-1, but they don't say who. Guys, let us know who you're choosing when you give us the goal predictions. First goal of the of these 3 matches, it is Rodrigo. Wow. Going back to what you said, though, Angel, about this kind of lighting the fire under Atleti, sometimes scoring early isn't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
It can really fuel the other team, and then all of a sudden, it bites you in the behind. Now, we are talking about Real Madrid, a team that has done this time and time again, but this could play in favor for us watching to maybe see a more high-scoring affair.
I mean, I would love to see that. And I love the fact that it started this way because, we're talking about the fact that it was going to be, both teams being really cautious.
Yeah.
When you look at the 2014 final, the 2016 final, you see how they are very cautious in their play. But this time around, we're seeing both teams going at each other. So this early goal even opens things up because Atletico Madrid knows that they have to get that equalizer. They'll be fighting for that equalizer. Real Madrid knows that they need to keep this lead if they don't at least add one on top of it. And hoping that if Atletico can come out to press forward to push for that equalizer, they're going to leave spaces at the back for their forward line to capitalize on.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting, and I'm happy to see that it's going this way. Although I wouldn't want Real Madrid to score a second one anytime soon.
Because then maybe it's a
Is it
runaway?
Like a wrap-up? Yeah, it's like, just wrap it up already.
Just wrap it up. Not like Manchester City in that first, or rather the second leg, where, Alex, we saw Real Madrid pretty much run away with it in the first 10 minutes and game was gone.
Yeah, I don't think Atleti will sit back just yet. If they go 2-0 down, I think they'll shut up shop. I think, like you said, Angel, there's no point in going all out for it and trying to risk it for potentially conceding a third or a fourth. But I think whilst they're still 1-0 down, they have to go for it. They have to stay in the tie, because if you sit back so early on, there's a cross in. If you sit back so early on against Real Madrid, you run the risk of coming under too much pressure and defending consistently for 80 minutes against Real Madrid. Yeah, I would implore any team to do it successfully. It's going to be difficult, especially at the Bernabéu.
Yeah. Oh, that was a run from Brahim there that carried it from the box of Madrid all the way through. Take a look at this.
Yeah. And this shows what what we're talking about earlier on in the game, that you need, as much as Luka Modric is really good, you need a Brahim Diaz who can pick the midfield apart. He can, disorganize things for them, because like Alex said, the game is going to be won today in midfield.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, whoever controls the midfield, leave that Real Madrid is actually leading this game. Whoever controls that midfield gets to win that game. And if Brahim Diaz can try as much as possible with his quick foot, his quick thinking, and all of that, and his strength, that physical strength that he's got, maybe it might be a good one for them today. We see Real Madrid again on the attack. Real Madrid looks to be pressing. I mean,
they're not going to sit on that 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
It looks like they want to score. Now they're quick to try and close this game out as soon as possible. But Atleti are still pressing, and I think they have it in them to score. I think this game kind of started off a little bit up in the air, and we'll see in the next 5-10 minutes it maybe settle a bit more. They're still getting into the groove of things. Sometimes these early goals also cause a bit of chaos for both sides here. So looking like Arsenal are trying to break through. Arsenal been on the attack the entire 12 minutes, it seems, really trying to get an early goal as well against PSV. And Dortmund and Lille, 2 attempts each, guys.
Yeah,
No, I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go for the
It's
underdog.
looking like
Come on.
It's a balanced affair there. It's
Yeah.
a balanced affair there because both sides look to be going at each other, and it's been evenly placed. In fact, there was an opportunity where Leo got that went like just right over the bar. If that had gone in, it would have put Borussia Dortmund in a precarious position at the Signal Iduna Park. But we'll wait to see how that one comes up. Still, Leo building from the back. I love the way that Lille is playing. They seem to be relaxed, and they're not even bothered that they're not. They're playing away from home, and that build-up from the back has been phenomenal. We wait to see if they convert it. It's not about beautiful football. We want to see the goals, because the goal is what win your games, like Mourinho would say. Even if it's half nil, just be one step ahead of your opponent.
Yeah, I completely agree. We have Goodman here saying Alvarez will turn this game around. Alex, do you think it's all up to the Argentine here?
I mean, he's that key man in attack for Atletico Madrid, and obviously he's been one of their best players this season, arguably their best player. He's shown that he can perform consistently at a top level, perhaps something that we didn't get the chance to see when he was at City, being number 2 to Erling Haaland, and I think it's the right move for his career, and he's shown that he's made the most of it this season at Atleti, and I think he's going to be a danger man tonight as Real Madrid come on the attack here. Potentially a second. It's a good block. Real Madrid aren't stopping at 1.
I think that was Vinicius Jr. Trying to push in that one from the right-hand side.
I sometimes think he holds on to the ball a little bit too long. I think sometimes he can, try and distribute that a bit better, because we obviously know how dangerous he is, but sometimes I think he does
Yeah, too much Legoverse.
Yeah, a little bit too much. He really tries. And the effort is there, but you just got to give that ball off a little bit more.
I mean, you could learn a thing or two from Rodrigo and the way he cuffs the ball.
Rodrigo's special. Rodrigo is very special, yeah.
That goal was just like a Lamine Yamal kind of goal. It reminds me of it. If you're not seeing the game, like that is what you should, you know.
And that's why I brought Lamine Yamal up, because it was the exact same player that he did it to with Javi Galán. And I'm thinking, like, okay, you saw Lamine Yamal do it to you, and now you have Rodrigo, who has the pace and who's an excellent player in the Champions League especially. And, I mean, I don't know who else they would sub for Javi Galán. Last time, I think, Alex, we saw, actually, Lino's starting in this game. It was, what's his name? Sorry, I will go find him. But I don't think they have a strong option for a replacement for Galán, but that makes me think that in the summertime...
I mean, Reinildo, we've seen slot.
Yeah, that's exactly who it was.
I think when you... that's twice, 3 times now that he's been skinned on that left-hand side. And
They got to look for a replacement in the transfer window. Woo! Oh my goodness! PSV hitting the woodwork here, and then a rebound to go just wide of the net. And that looks like the first real chance in this game. And who else but Ivan Perisic? My goodness, a resurgence at PSV. He had to have scored that.
Yeah.
He had to have scored that. Come on, the keeper wasn't any. Raya was on the far post.
He could have just put it straight above the player and he would have found the back of the net. I didn't know why he was always rising, but you should be scoring that at this stage. That was very, very disappointing. And you know, the thing about this PSV side is this Ivan Perisic, it's like fine wine. It gets better with age.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have written him off about 2 seasons ago or watching him at the World Cup. But this man there's been a resurgence one way or the other. And we see the experience, how his experience has actually helped the side even to beat Juve and to get to this point. That was the goal again. I mean, the goalkeeper was on the other side. That chance should have been taken. And it's a disappointing one that PSV is not 1-0 up at this point.
It could bite them in the behind if they aren't able to convert that, because Arsenal will... you know, keep pushing, and they might be able to convert their chances, and that could be something that ends up losing the game for PSV. It was Saibari in the end who did miss that chance, not Luke de Jong. But Alex, do you think that these chances might end up, you know, kind of biting PSV in the behind if they can't convert?
no, I mean, it's the story of quite a lot of games this season where we've seen teams not make the most of those opportunities, and Arsenal had a chance earlier on in the game. They're on the attack here now, but I think in a game like this where... Speaking of the devil.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Arsenal have gone 1-0 up.
Is that Winieri? Justin, no, Timber.
Julian Timber.
Julian Timber, pardon. Wow. Well, we were talking about how PSV don't convert their chances. It might not go there in their favor as Arsenal score with Julian Timber scoring a header in what seemed like a very marginal space there between the keeper and the near post, but he was able to get it done. And Arsenal up 1-0. Let's rewatch this goal from the build-up here at the halfway point.
Chance for Atletico Madrid? No, corner. And Arsenal fans get...
Is that Declan Rice with that? That was
believe
brilliant.
it is.
That was brilliant
It is.
work from the young
lovely cross
Englishman.
from Declan Rice.
Yeah, and Noah Lang just giving a little bit too much space there to Timber.
I mean, you shouldn't be leaving your defenders should be doing a better job.
Exactly.
Picking up the run.
He's not even the defender. That's the. I mean, what do you
Tracking
expect from
back,
a number
though.
10?
We love the effort.
He doesn't even have the height for it.
Yeah.
So you begin to ask yourself, where are the defenders? Where is Ryan Flamingo? Where is Olivier Boscali?
Can Arsenal fans get booking those flights to Madrid yet, or is it too early?
Should they just book him back home too?
Oh, very, very.
I mean, that would be a tasty tie. Real Madrid, Arsenal in the quarterfinals. I think Real Madrid would be strong favourites, but I'd be very excited to see a tie like that.
I would say let's not counter X before they're hashed. I mean, Alex is already way ahead. Like,
Alex is like Real Madrid.
Real Madrid all the way.
I'm just dreaming up hypothetical scenarios.
It's okay to dream, I mean.
It's okay.
Oh, there's a chance for Arsenal.
Another chance, another cross here. Odegaard doesn't get there in time. Meanwhile, still 0-0 at Signal Iduna. No goals here, but hopefully we'll see something soon. It is a very even match so far. Both teams having chances. Both teams unlucky with their chances, but a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. I think with this, with the way the game is looking, with 18 minutes already played in the Borussia Dortmund Lille game, you could say it can go either ways at this point. Like any team can get, the win if you're going to draw it by this 18 minutes played, because both sides are evenly poised. No one has anything over the other, although it's too soon to say. And I did talk about the fact about Giras's his ability to convert those chances. But if he's not getting the supply, if he's not getting the service, then how can he do the job?
Yeah.
Or if Lille is well organized in putting him off, where he cannot even convert those chances, because every time he has the ball, you see the Lille players all up on him, which is a good strategy, because if you don't give him that space to capitalize or to make use of any ball that finds him, then, you know, you're still in a very comfortable position, and you can only hope that you can get your own goal when the time comes. Just make sure that you keep the man at bay and take your chances when they come.
I think if this game ends in, you know, a draw, it's going to just, Lille will be happy with that. They'll be walking home thinking, that's great. Oh, my goodness. Arsenal make it 2-0. Are you kidding me? Ranieri now scores. Oh, dear. 20 minutes in, and this could be a very, very long evening for PSV. Oh, la la. And let's all remember that this one is at PSV's home, Philippe Stadion, and they have to go back to the Emirates next week.
You know, we looked at the game with them and Juve. You were asking whether this was going to be a boost for them coming into this game. And here we are.
I told you beating Juve doesn't mean anything, guys. Juve. The situation that Juve are in, I think, wow. Well, and this is really what Arsenal need with their up and down form of late in the Prem. Wow.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need.
And especially for the youngster Ranieri, you could see the smile on his face and how much this team already relies on him. I think that's what's a little scary for Arsenal, though, that you have this youngster coming in and you notice when he's not on the pitch already, that if I'm Mikel Arteta, you gotta make some changes, because if you're already relying on this one youngster,
with Bukayo Saka coming in the quarterfinals, that could be a good thing.
Absolutely.
And then a lot of players out injured. He's only getting the opportunity because, like, some of the big boys are not there. Although when they come back, it's still going to, like, he has already established himself in that team. So it's good to know you have, like, lots of options. If this person is not available, you have somebody else who can step up and do the job. And that even helps you in terms of rotation. We see a goal there in the game against Borussia Dortmund and Lille.
Yeah. It's Karim Adeyemi who scores for the home side. And they are the final team game to score, sorry, is what I'm trying to say here. And it wasn't Serhei Guirassy in the end. It was Adeyemi. Out of all the players, we kind of thought it would be Guirassy, but in the end, 1-0 for Dortmund at home. Let's take a look at this from the corner, crossed in. And it was a wow.
Looks so easy, but but it's not to get it just
deflected out after a corner from the header there, and outside of the box. Karim Adeyemi does well to keep that ball on the ground and hit it from the top of his boot with the back spin there to slow it down a bit, and just off the post. Yeah, not really. You know what? To be fair, not really much Lille could do. I don't think the keeper had good vision. The defenders were already covering their, players from the corner, and
Harold Singh will be kicking himself there, hoping that he would have just stretched a leg to intercept that ball, because it was a low ball and it was just right beside him. Never saw it coming.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that means we have Myas Lewis-Skelly picking up a yellow card here. 5 goals across 3 matches in about 24 minutes. Not too bad, guys.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
PSV with a free kick here as well.
Yeah. Wow. Are you kidding me?
That was close.
That was very close. Imagine. Was Noah Lang in the end?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
not enough curve.
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't as close as I thought from the
Yeah.
second angle, but
It was
wow.
a good attempt.
A very good attempt. Still 1-0 to Real Madrid. Atleti haven't been able to get anything done here. Madrid, see, kind of cooling down a bit. The gas, you know, slowing it down after the first 10 minutes here. But I think there still should be more goals in this one, no?
I believe so. I would think so. I mean, I don't know about the Real Madrid game because my prediction was 1-0, okay? And I want it to go that way.
Okay, so for Angel.
But it,
Wait, what did you say, Alex? 3-2?
3-2.
yeah, he said
Got
3-2.
5 goals, and there's a chance here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good
Wait, you went 3. I don't think I really sat down and took that in. You went for 5 goals in this match.
Yeah.
In the first leg. I feel like that may be the second leg.
Well, Clint went for 3-1. Is as close.
Yeah, true, true. Clinton, though, I'm usually not surprised when he goes for the crazy. And
Oh my word! I was gonna say
No,
another one, but it was a replay of the first one, and I was like, thank goodness.
oh,
Well, won by. I really hope that doesn't cost Arsenal like a set piece. In that game against PSV, a player is down.
yeah, Lewis Skelly already has a yellow card here, and there was it seemed like it was a pretty bad foul, but I think he is being sent away. I don't think that red is coming out, but I think he needs to be careful since he's already carrying one. Alex, he's a player that has gotten a bit unlucky when it comes to cards.
He has. I mean, obviously that one against Wolves, I think, hard push to see.
I'm sorry, this is a foul.
I do think it is a foul.
This is a foul. This should be a second yellow.
He's lucky to get away with that one.
No,
Yeah,
he
that's what the
really
fans are
is.
even saying. They're like,
Yeah.
this is this should be the second yellow card.
I mean, I assume that he's going to be taken off at the half if this is the way he's going to continue playing, because Mikel Arteta doesn't want to risk it for the second leg, not having him. Alex, who would you bring in if you're Arteta and you're taking off Lewis Skelly,
I mean,
who just returned?
yeah, it's a different one. Obviously, you've got a few options. Maybe Kiwi or Ben White, if you wanted to play him on that left-hand side. Kieran Tierney, potentially. Calafiori, Zinchenko. They have got options at their left-back position,
Yeah.
but I think it would be sensible to perhaps take him off at half-time.
I think you have to.
I don't know whether taking off now is a bit too catastrophic, a bit too early, but if he gets sent off in the next 10 minutes, perhaps too late.
I think maybe that might have been the extra push he needed to kind of calm it down a bit, but I think he did get away with one there. I do think he will take it down a notch, though, now. Oof, meanwhile, another chance for
Lille,
Dortmund.
yeah.
That was...
And
or,
Macau.
sorry, Lille.
Yeah, Leo had another chance, very close one, although the goalkeeper had it all covered. It was a shot by Macau, but it just went wide.
I'd like to see Lille score in this half just to make things interesting for Dortmund. I mean, they're putting up a good fight here, and they're, you know, taking chances. They're pressing. They have options. Just to see what would happen at Signal Iduna.
Yeah. At the Signal Iduna, I think Borussia Dortmund, if it continues like this till halftime, they're just going to seal up their defense, because you see them now, like all the yellow shirts are behind the ball.
Yeah.
They're all in their own half of the pitch.
But if I'm honest with you, if I'm Lille, even a 1-0 loss, that's fine. There's a whole second game at home. I think Dortmund need to win by more of a margin than just one.
Atletico Madrid had a chance here to find the back of the net earlier on, and they just did not take it. It was a cross from the right-hand side, and there was a player there that should have converted it, but I don't know if it was Courtois who intercepted it. Yeah, okay.
Wow,
yeah,
that was a
See?
good keep it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Is that cross from Giuliano Simeone?
Yeah.
It looks like...
Yeah, it was Federico Valverde.
Wow.
Otherwise, we would have said it's 1-1 now.
Yeah, he actually had the keeper beat. He had the keeper beat. Wow. Okay, Atleti heating up here. Chances.
Diego Simeone cannot contain himself. He just walking along the sideline.
Never will.
Never can. It's. I think things are really slowing down in that game. I think Atletico Madrid has finally, settled into the game. I think the goal destabilized them for like a few minutes, but they have found their rhythm again, and they're pushing to get that equalizer.
It's an uphill battle already for Atleti. Their odds of winning at the moment 9.75 this tie. winning this tie.
9.7. Sprinkle.
Yeah.
Sprinkle. Why not?
Lille are 13 and PSV are 40. So
Ooh.
even higher odds. Atleti still in it. I think Real Madrid expected to see this one through, but there's still a long way to go. There's still just over an hour to go, I think. I don't think there's too much in that from Marco Llorente.
I need Vinny Jr. to not be doing this nonsense tonight. There is more important fish to fry.
I've not really seen much of Vini Jr. and Kylian Mbappe in this game, and I'm beginning to wonder, is Mbappe in this game at all?
Yes.
Markandé actually, Markandé made a comment about this earlier. I saw, and he said, "Why is Mbappe jogging?" Yeah, they are shutting him down, but maybe that's why, you know, Rodrigo is then left as the option here. And a free kick taken right to Jan Black, who saves it. Wow, Rodrigo trying to go for the double.
Oh, that was a very cheeky one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, is that a goal from Arsenal, or is that
Yes,
taken
Mikel
offside?
Merino, super striker.
Super striker. You can play him anywhere.
3-0.
PSV.
Wow.
Why?
Half an hour gone, 3-0. I think PSV are out of the Champions.
Unfortunate for PSV. Like we said, their win against the Juve, that 3-1, went to extra time, was probably one of the best matches we saw in the knockout stage. And now, unfortunately, it's just been a little too much for them. 3-0 at home to Arsenal, 30 minutes in. They have another, you know, hour of football to play tonight, let alone going to the Emirates,
2.5
Alex.
hours, yeah. I can't see them getting back into this one. I mean, perhaps even shows and highlights how disappointing Juve were. Yes, I know PSV are a decent side, but you'd expect Juve to get a result.
Sent it through
It was
the
a
legs.
lovely finish.
It wasn't even the lovely finish. It was the disappointing how the defenders failed to clear their lines.
They all stopped
Put it
moving.
through his
They
legs.
all stopped
Yeah.
moving. They just were caught flat-footed. They all gave up, it seemed. I think the mentality of PSV right now is completely shaken. You know, we said 2 goals in the first 20 minutes, and now it's 3. What this does to some of these teams, Angel, I don't know if you agree, but it is really hard to come back or at least keep a level head and just keep that 2-0 and still try and score. Where now when we see this 3rd goal go in, it kind of looks like they are giving up. There is a goal check, though. This could be something for PSV in their favor. Still be 2-0, but they are taking a look at it. I don't know if they are saying it was offside.
Is it offside, or do you think it was a foul?
I'm not quite sure.
That second goal, Lewis Skelly setting up Ethan Arnaud, is the first time 2 English teenagers have combined for a goal in the Champions League ever.
What does that say about
Wow.
English teenagers? Sorry, you set me up too easily there, Alex. No, it's...
No comment.
All right, Letty are pushed in here. Griezmann, get out of town. He's just so good. I'm trying to figure out what the foul is called against. It looks...
Well, they will be hoping that this goal is cancelled.
I mean, they need this goal to be canceled, but even if
Yeah.
it were to be canceled, it's still 2-0, and Arsenal are still the team that have been performing better, and I don't know if it matters either way, if I'm honest. I don't see PSV being able to claw themselves out of this one.
Yeah. You know, you were asking before that what are the chances that they get out of this?
Oh, yeah.
Their captain, talking about Saiberi, he spoke after the last match, and he said the game against Juventus, even though they came into that tie, you know, as the underdogs and, you know, trailing, they actually told themselves that they could relax and get something out of it if they could just, you know, beat their time, you know, stay relaxed, and they convert quality chances that they could get something out of that game. But in this game, I very much doubt it. There's no coming back from this.
No, I don't think so.
There's no coming back from this.
I also think Arsenal... Oh, Atleti have scored. Are you
Wow.
kidding me? Julian Alvarez La Raña. And it's 1-1. Angel, I'm sorry, but that does mean that your prediction is out the window.
Yeah, it's
Alex,
out the window.
there's still hope. For me, too, because I've gone for a draw.
Yeah.
But who else other than Julian Alvarez? We asked KlintonCod outside the Santiago Bernabéu at the beginning of this show if he'd be scared of Julian Alvarez, and he said yes. And Alex, he had every right to be. There's no shock here that it's Alvarez that scored the goal.
No, I mean, just looking back at the replay here, nice little move on the left-hand side, Perhaps is that Camavinga there should have done
Oh, what a goal.
What a goal.
What?
Arsenal
He
goal.
said, Rodrigo, hold my drink. I'm going to try and one-up you. Are you kidding? Brilliant individual effort. Wow, both of these goals have been...
I mean, perhaps unfair for me to say Camavinga should have done better. I think Julian Alvarez, that was just a piece of unbelievable skill. Arsenal's third goal confirmed there.
Pep Guardiola would be...
One area has been taken off.
Oh, my goodness.
What did I say? Yeah, I think he's acting up a little bit too much, and I think Arteta, knowing that it's 3-0, they're pretty much booked their trip.
Sorry,
No.
Lewis Skelly, sorry.
Sorry, yes,
Yeah,
Lewis.
Said
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sorry.
I picked up what you were
Yeah.
putting down. Well, I think the fact that they're up 3-0 now, they're pretty much packed their bags into the quarterfinals.
There's nothing, I mean, there's nothing.
There's no point
There's
of
nothing
getting
to
this
play
guy
for.
sent off, knowing that you already have so many injuries. I think it's the right move from Arteta. But I do think this game now might become very boring. I am a bit worried that Arsenal might just relax a little bit.
They might just rest on their oars, and we can see, PSV putting up a fight, because I feel like if PSV can get one goal, that will motivate them to want to, push further for a second. And if Arsenal relaxes, I would say if I were Arsenal, I would push more to get a fourth one and just seal it up. I would just
100%.
keep pushing.
Markinde says here, Camavinga is killing me. Cornelia says, yes, Arsenal, love you. Wow, I'm still getting over that goal from Julian Alvarez. I think that's one of the best goals. I think it's the best goal this evening so far.
When I saw it, I thought he was like in the box and someone was going to cross it to him.
Yeah. When
And then I saw that he took it. Like, you took it from there. How did you do that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant goal. Brilliant goal.
Meanwhile, I think, I don't know if you guys know, James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper, said to JJ Watt, if I keep a clean sheet for every game for the rest of the season, will you come back and play in the NFL? Burnley have just conceded, so obviously they lost at the weekend, but I think that bet's over. We're not going to see JJ Watt back in the NFL. Still at the side of that.
Did you think that bet would go through, Alex?
I think it was a long shot, but I think he went more than 10 games without conceding a goal. So hopeful, but over now.
It's all over now. I'm just looking up here. Do we know who came in for Lewis Skelly?
Alafiori,
Yeah.
Calafiori. Yeah, I mean, I think that's...
a sensible replacement. I think when you look at the ramifications, yeah, like you said, getting someone sent off with more than half of the game to go, you're 3-0 up. It just creates unnecessary risks, and I think the sensible decision there to take him off, although Miles Lewis-Skelly will be gutted to come off. Perhaps a useful lesson for him to learn to tone it down a bit in terms of with the rash tackles.
Yeah.
And PSV on the attack. Yeah, Arsenal dealing with it very well. Real Madrid with an attack again. These games are going to go end to end. It's going to be like watching tennis.
But isn't that what we want?
Yeah, that's what we want. We want goals.
Going by your prediction.
We want goals. 3-2 would be an
Yeah.
unbelievable game.
I think.
Ooh, that's Antonio Rudiger.
Rudiger with a shot.
Yeah. Just went
trying to get
above
his
the
name
bar.
on the board here.
Yeah.
Atleti, Atleti now 4.13 to win tonight's game. So still the underdogs, but they've clawed it back a little bit.
Sprinkle. Look, you kidding
It's
me?
an unbelievable goal.
He stretched Courtois, who is so long and large. Like, just... No, that's
Moment of magic.
beautiful.
Other than that, though, I haven't really seen much from Atleti going forward. I think
No.
it took a moment of magic to break.
But I think that's why. I think he knew it was individual work. Real Madrid have been doing well to cut those crosses and shut, players like Antoine Griezmann down. So this is what you have to do. And Julian Alvarez is a player who has that in him. And Dortmund have made it 2-0. Oh my, at the Signal Iduna. And is it Schlotterbeck out of all players to score outside of the box? We have a center back.
Oh no,
Oh.
past the net.
I was so
So
excited.
past the post, sorry.
It was very close, though. I think the keeper might have been there, but brilliant effort from Dortmund, who are not sitting back on it, Angel. They
No.
are trying to make it more than 1 goal difference here.
Yeah, I see them pushing for it. And Lille, I don't know, they seem to have relaxed a little. I don't know if they've relaxed or it's the fact that they just haven't gotten those clear-cut chances. And then, you know, with that goal just destabilized them. Before the goal, it was evenly poised.
Yeah.
But since that goal went in, you know, Lille has been struggling to find their bearing. I do hope that they bounce back there on their attack right now. It's not about Dasmonier with the ball. I do hope that they're able to, you know, to press and get an equalizer because that will make things even more interesting for us from the viewer's perspective. For the fans, for the Borussia Dortmund fan, not so much. But Lille's still pushing, and hopefully they get something out of this game. I would want to see like a side that I've never seen before get past this stage, like a Lille side. I've seen Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinals. I've seen them in the semi-finals. I want to see Lille.
Yeah.
PSG now, no more, because I was hoping that maybe they would do something against Arsenal. That's not the case. It seemed like a done and dusted affair there. And Lille is the only side that we're looking forward to, you know, giving us something, you know, something to smile about, like something to say, oh, or the Euro for the organizers to say, okay, we did a great job.
Yeah, true.
By introducing
Club
this format.
Brugge lost to Villa. PSV losing massively to Arsenal 3-0 now. Lille is that underdog that's still, there's a chance, losing 1-0 to Dortmund, but we can see. Because tomorrow, I mean, there are massive matches. There's Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, both big dogs. PSG and Liverpool, big dogs. There's Benfica and Barcelona. Benfica, obviously not on the level of Barcelona, but still a very well-known team. I wouldn't put them on the level of, you know, some of these, maybe PSV.
The Portuguese giants.
Yeah, exactly. And then our third match, or fourth match rather, is, what's the fourth match? Inter.
Feyenoord Inter.
Feyenoord and Inter. So maybe Feyenoord.
Yeah, Feyenoord.
Well, the news today that Angel Di Maria will be
he's out
tomorrow.
Oh, I know. I'm watching.
Injury.
They didn't play on the weekend either, changed their schedule, had a nice 7-day rest.
Florentino Luis also absent for Benfica, so I mean a big miss for, I know Angel Di Maria he's been coming off the bench a few times, but still an experienced player that will be.
He's a big game player.
Yeah.
He changes any team he plays on. He'll come in the last moments and he'll change, so.
Potential penalty here for PSV. Ooh,
Yeah.
Thomas
my
Partey
God.
caught Luke de Jong there.
Was that even necessary?
It's an arm. It's definitely intentional because you can see the way the arm's going. It's not like an accidental flailing arm that's caught Luke de Jong. Silly from Thomas Partey if it is given as a penalty. I think it has been given.
It has been
PSV
given.
have a penalty.
Controversy, the comeback.
Yeah,
the
there's
comeback,
no
guys.
cover.
There's still time. We're about 3 minutes from the halftime mark. PSV with a penalty here. Silly grab from Thomas Partey. So unnecessary. You're up 3-0. Just ridiculous. And it's Noah Lang who's stepping up to the spot.
Before they take this penalty, chances of them coming back, 60, odds of 60.
Sprinkle it. Sprinkle it. Sporty bet. Come on.
Noah Lang up against David Raya.
Woo! Sent him.
Boom.
No, David Raya didn't even have a notion. Didn't even move for that one.
Stood still in the middle.
You know what?
Game
Let's
on.
go for the comeback. Guys, come on. Let's go for the
No,
comeback.
we're talking about the fact that if they get one in, it puts Arsenal in a very difficult position because then they would, if they get one, they're going to think, oh, we can get the second one. And if they get the second one,
Both teams to score in my bet builder or in my booking codes. Arsenal PSV. There you have it.
There we go, Alex. Okay, so far, so good.
Just need 2 more goals in the Dortmund Lille game and over 3.5 bookings in the Real Madrid.
We haven't seen a booking yet in the Real
haven't,
Madrid
no.
Atleti game. Wait for the second half.
Yeah.
Wait for the second half.
There's still time yet. There's still
Oh,
time.
la la. Arsenal, oh my goodness, and a chance here, and it was Declan Rice trying to kind of just react to that reaction of PSV scoring. Takes a shot here from the, oh, actually the keeper did well to get a hand on that, and actually massive save here because that otherwise was going in. Well read from the keeper. But we were talking about how, Angel, the mentality of PSV after getting scored against 3 times, it goes down naturally.
Yeah.
But this one goal, this penalty, it does change the way, you know, they can look at this. It's only 2 goals now. They could get a draw here. You know, it gives them some sort of hope, some sort of fight.
Yeah, it does. It does actually, and you can see the resurgence since they got that goal. How much they're pressing
Yeah.
now. They're beginning. It's almost like you've injected like energy into them. You can see how much even Perisic and the likes are pressing. We see them on the attack right now, and they'll be hoping. It's the way football works. You get one in, and you think you can get a second,
Yeah.
and then you get the second, and you think you can get the third.
Yeah.
So that's what we're seeing with PSG. I would wait to see. I did talk about the fact that Arsenal should not relax because they seem to have relaxed, and Thomas Partey will be beating himself up right now if they get a second because that's whatever he did that was absolutely unnecessary. He didn't need to get his arms around the neck of De Jong. It was absolutely unnecessary. And he'll be hoping that this game ends this way or even they get another one to put Arsenal 4-1 up.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we have OTF hyper saying, I don't think this game will end, or rather, I think this game will end in over 2.5. Which game are you referring to? As well as Richard Sunday saying this is going to be a draw 3-3 or 4-4. If he's talking about Madrid, very interesting. Imagine a 4-4 draw at the Santiago Bernabéu.
Oh.
Well, the final 4 minutes of extra time added to PSV Arsenal. As it stands, Arsenal lead that match 3-1. PSV would do anything, Alex, here to score one more before halftime.
I mean, that would make it really interesting. 4 minutes of added time. If they get a goal here.
Close. All you had to do was keep the ball down, De Jong. A good cross.
Oh, and he was onside. What a cross. Are you kidding me? De Jong just gets, a head on it, but not properly and sends it over the bar. But he had David Raya beat. He could have, oh my God, he could have.
He could have been the savior of this team. He gave them the penalty, or he gifted them that penalty. And now he had another chance to put his team, just a little below Arsenal. Very fantastic cross from the left-hand side, and he should be converting that. He should be putting that down.
Like the goal, or the miss rather, from Saibari and that earlier on.
Exactly.
These are chances that it could be 3-3 right now.
Yeah, it could be 3-3.
It could be 3-3.
If they've come, and you see in the case of Arsenal, it hasn't been that Arsenal has got so many opportunities.
Yeah.
It's just been the fact that they've been clinical in front
Yeah.
of goal. They've converted almost every chance that they have got. And that's what PSV need to learn how to do, because you cannot just, those chances will not come every time against an Arsenal side that's very organized. Oh my goodness. It was Real Madrid, Federico Valverde, almost finding the back of the net. But Black, you can just get one past this goalkeeper.
I mean, I'd be very surprised if he conceded a goal from that angle.
A goal from that angle. And he was almost going to get it between his legs. In Nigeria, I would say he's OC. So
Half time at the Bernabéu.
yeah.
Halftime at the Bernabéu, and this
That
is prob-
Rodrigo de Paul shouting at Javi Galán there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be too. Shouting at Diego Simeone, maybe to sub him off. It's just not fast enough. Chance for Dortmund in the final minute. Oh my God, Dortmund scored. It's 2. No, it is called offside. Corner there. It was nearly 2-0 at the half, but it is offside. I think that will be the last play here at Signal Iduna Park. 1 for Dortmund, 0 for Lille, but it's not over. It's only 1-0. This game is wide open still, and like I said, if this game does end 1-0, next leg, anything can happen still. Not a bad situation for Lille to be in, but let's hope for some goals in the second half. Alex needs at least 2 more for his bet to hit. So I'm calling on Jonathan David to break that record and go for the highest goal scorer in Lille history in the European Championships. So let's break that record. Let's do that tonight.
2 more goals. That's all I need.
Sorry?
2 more goals in this game. That's all.
2 more goals. And then everything else is hit. No, the fouls.
No, we're way off that. 3.5 bookings in the Real Madrid Atleti game.
We're not way off that.
I've already got an Aston Villa win.
Barrios is on the pitch. That he'll get a card. We have Simeone. He'll get a card. Vinny Jr. He'll get a card. Fine.
Yeah, PSV, Arsenal, both teams to score. That's come through. Villa beat Club Brugge, so that's come through. So I just need 2 more goals in the Dortmund-Lille game and 4 bookings in the Real Madrid Atleti game.
All right. Does anyone think that PSV can come back in this?
No.
No?
No.
No.
In the tie, maybe, but tonight, no.
Not tonight. Okay. You think Arsenal are going to continue to score here?
No, to be honest, I can see it staying like this, actually.
This is the end.
3-1. It's quite often when you see a high-scoring first half that you see teams not shut up shop, but Arsenal, I think, will look at this and perhaps try to consolidate. Yes, maybe pinch one more goal before the end of the game, but PSV, it's a game of risk, really. You don't want to go too far forward and try and push for that second and potentially a third and risk being caught on the counter-attack and then find yourself out of the tie before the second leg's even started. So it's a game of risk, whether they want to try and play it carefully or use that home field advantage. Is that little limp there from Mikel Arena? I don't think it was. He looks all right. But yes, I think it's all depends on what the coach wants to do, I think. Does he want to risk it this week or keep the tie going for that little bit longer and take it to the Emirates next week?
Yeah, but if the first half, the way it ended, is anything to go by, I think they might want to push for a second in the second half.
That changes from being down 3 to being down 1.
Exactly.
And then, go into next week. Obviously, we know it's at the Emirates, but it's a complete new game. It's a new match. It's a new week. I don't know. I'm seeing cracks. Arsenal have done well to score all 3 of their goals, but we've seen, like we said, if Saibari could have converted, if Luke de Jong, if they do have another chance like that, maybe they will be able to convert, and that changes everything. In my opinion.
Well, if there's anything we've learned from games, from football, is that it can go anyone's way, and anything can happen. You would look at it and say, there's no way Arsenal is going to give up a 3-1 lead. But then anything can happen. It's football, and if PSV come out all guns blazing, and I mean that metaphorically, then they can get something. I would say just go all out and just reduce it to a 1-0 scoreline, like a 1-0 difference between you two. If it's a 3-2 it ends, then fine. Then you wait to see what happens when you go to the Emirates Stadium. You see what you can get out of that one. It's a good thing with the new rule and the new format. It helps you. It's an evenly balanced one, so you can still overturn the deficit when you go to
no away goals. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying they can actually go ahead and get and close up the 1-0 gap between them. That's what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
So,
as it stands, guys, halftime across the board, 1-1 at the Santiago Bernabéu. Arsenal leading PSV 3-1, and it's 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund at Lille. Alex, can I ask you to go over these 3 matches and give us the odds of what each team has right now?
So Real Madrid to win 2.3. I think still a safe bet on that one. The draw 2.5. Atleti are still 4.7. To get the win. I think a little bit more of an uphill battle being away from home, and this perhaps is where we see Simeone maybe switch and think this is where we take this tide into next week and look to slow things down a little bit. I don't think they want to risk pushing forward too much in this second half because they could find themselves at the risk of a counter-attack and falling 2 goals behind or 1 goal behind, and that just makes that a little bit harder next week when they play at home. Borussia Dortmund, 1.22 odds of winning this game. I think they're, according to the odds here, through to the quarterfinals on this one. Obviously, there's still the second leg to play, and a draw 5.5 with Lille win being 19 on this one. So
tonight to win.
To win tonight, 19 for Lille.
It's only 1-0.
PSV, on the other hand, really have an uphill battle. 50 odds of 50 for PSV win tonight.
What's the draw?
Draw is 12.5, which is not a bad one to. If you can see them if they get a goal in that first 10-15 minutes, it gets interesting. And Arsenal are under pressure. I think a PSV win is a little bit far out of reach. An Arsenal win is 1.05. So I think the favourites here, Real Madrid, Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund 1.22 odds to win. I think that's lower than I was expecting, perhaps. And then the draw only at 5.6, which is still quite high.
Yeah. I know that these are the games for this evening, guys, but really quickly, while it's halftime, shall we take a look into the matches tomorrow? Because I know there's a lot of chaos this evening and some very tasty matchups, but tomorrow we have Feyenoord and Inter. We have PSG and Liverpool. Bayern Munich and Leverkusen, as well as Benfica and Barcelona. Angel, what match are you looking forward to the most, and which do you think is going to be the highest scoring affair?
I'll be looking at PSG Liverpool because I think it's going to be, that would be a very big test for Arne Slot's men. You know, they're already Premier League leaders. You want to also establish yourself, and they've won the Champions League in recent times, so they can do it again. And against what better team to do it again against PSG, which is also an equally big side.
Yeah.
You're making a statement. You're sending a message across to the other people that here we are and we mean business. So I'll be looking forward to I also have my eyes on the Bayern Munich Bayer Leverkusen game. Because like this is like you handed over the mantle of leadership. It was Bayern before dominating in the Bundesliga, and then Bayer Leverkusen from nowhere last season came and won the German Bundesliga. So I would want to see them come up against each other. So those are like the two games that my eyes will be on.
Right.
And for the high-scoring affair, I would say Barcelona-Benfica. The reason is I'm not looking at both sides scoring. I'm looking at Barcelona, what they did over the weekend. And the fact that, you know, they have a certain Lamine Yamal, who has been phenomenal, and they have a certain Robert Lewandowski, who is equally, like, very experienced on the side. And with the way Barcelona is looking right now, who says they cannot do it on the outside? They're La Liga leaders. They're also... what Hansi Flick has been doing with the Barcelona side has been remarkable. So I would want to see him say, we're not just doing it in the league or in the Copa del Rey, we're also doing it in the Champions League. And with this crop of players that we have, we are ready and we are back to winning ways again. So for me, Barcelona against Benfica should be like a high-scoring one, with Barcelona dominating the game, that is.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Alex, let's start off in Paris with PSG and Liverpool. Is it crazy to think that PSG can get a win in this one at home?
Crazy, no. I think maybe unlikely, yes. I think given the players that Liverpool have and how well they've been playing this season, yes, we have seen a dip in form, so to speak, in the Premier League, obviously, but they're still picking up the results. That's what matters most. PSG really picking up form coming into these last few Champions League games, and I think, as the story always is in Ligue 1, they're firing away at the top there, and an impressive win over Lille at the weekend. And you look at this tie, the fact that it's at Anfield in the second leg, I think that plays a big role. If perhaps it was at the Parc des Princes in the second.
No, but I'm talking just about the first. I'm talking about...
No, I'm just saying the grand scheme of the tie, I think PSG would come into this tie perhaps not favourites, but with a greater chance if the second leg was at the Parc des Princes.
Sure.
But tomorrow night, they're going to come into this and know that they've got that PSG crowd behind them, that fire that we know that the PSG fans do bring, and I think it's going to be a tasty one. I think Liverpool have enough to get the result tomorrow night, maybe a draw. I think Arne Slot would head back to Anfield happy with the draw. I think there'll be a test for Liverpool, but I think they'll handle business tomorrow.
You think so? Angel, I think that PSG can get a result tomorrow. I don't think that necessarily they'll go through in two legs, because Liverpool is a team that has shown resilience. Even when they lose, they'll bounce back. But I think PSG is in the best form they've been in this season. They're scoring goals across the board between Barcola, Desiree Doué. Ousmane Dembele has been outstanding in the past few months. You know, they have youngsters in the middle with João Pedro and Vitinha. And with Liverpool, not to say that they haven't had an amazing season, because they have, but obviously few drops here and there. They're still struggling with who that striker is meant to be. And even though Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate are two of the best defenders in football right now, we've also seen a couple slip-ups. That Aston Villa midweek draw, was it 2 weeks ago now? Yeah. We saw a little, you know, confusion between the two that...
They're still going to lose,
yeah.
Yeah, but I think they aren't like... Aston Villa isn't a team that can score as many goals as PSG. I think it's the fact that PSG is a team that can score a lot of goals.
Yeah, they
concede a lot of goals.
Yeah, they have the players to do so. They have the players to do so. PSG side that we know they're not a small team, whether it's on the league front or in the Champions League, they usually make a statement for themselves. And it's a surprise because with all the investment that they've made over the years, we would expect that they would be dominating like at this stage. But against a Liverpool side that hasn't lost in the last 7 games that they have played in this competition, they would know that they have a very tough opposition. And with Liverpool, knowing that they already have like the Premier League in the bag, the next thing that they have to focus on is the Champions League. What is bigger than the Champions League? Although Luis Enrique has come out to say that his side is actually ready in this game, and that they will come. And he's a tactical coach. We see what he did when he was with Barcelona. We know what he's capable of and what he's been doing with this Paris Saint-Germain side, the resurgence that they have had in the last few games and all of that. But against this Arne Slot side, there's just something about Liverpool with the likes of Mo Salah. He can just spring up a surprise from when you least expect it. It's going to be a tough affair. They could get the goals, but over 2 legs, I would expect Liverpool to get the victory over them.
Yeah, I think over 2 legs. I'm just saying tomorrow's
game.
You mentioned the Premier League and how Liverpool has pretty much bagged it. PSG are, 13 points ahead of Marseille. We know how they.
Exactly.
It's Ligue 1. Of course, they're going to win. This isn't.
And they're playing at the Parc des Princes.
That's why I don't think it's going to be as clear cut, even though Liverpool have proven to be such a resilient team this season. I think they'll go through in 2 legs, but I have a feeling about PSG tomorrow, especially because they have been this constant team that doesn't perform in the Champions League.
I would go with, if I had to think, putting my prediction ahead of tomorrow, I would say a draw, honestly.
Yeah?
I would say a draw, but I would say like a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll get into that game more tomorrow. Alex, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich. Now, not so long ago, we did see these 2 teams face one another, and less than exciting in this one with a 0-0 draw in the Bundesliga. That being said, this is the Champions League, and it is over 2 legs. But again, let's talk about just tomorrow night, maybe. Are you leaning one way or another?
I am towards Bayer Leverkusen, I think it'll be an interesting battle. We've seen, like you said, the 2 sides recently in that 0-0 draw. I'm looking back a little bit further to that DFB Pokal game where Manuel Neuer got sent off earlier on and Nathan Teller got the winner for Bayer Leverkusen. It's been an interesting season for Bayern Munich. They've been firing on all cylinders in the Bundesliga this season, but in the Champions League they've been disappointing. I think it's fair to say that loss to Barcelona, the loss to Feyenoord. They've been, I think, shorter of and lower than what people expected in terms of performances and when it came to their expectations coming into the season. Vincent Kompany has got some work to do to perhaps win the trust of the Bayern Munich fans as perhaps a manager that could lead them to a Champions League final. And obviously this year it's in Munich, so that little bit of extra motivation to win in their own stadium. Of course, the last time that happened, they lost to Chelsea on penalties. And I think tomorrow night, it's going to be a really interesting tactical battle because Xabi Alonso, last season, Bayer Leverkusen were the best team, bar Real Madrid, in the world. And they were short. Their only shortcoming was Ademola Lookman in that Europa League final. So I think it's going to be a tight one. I think knowing this is the real, that comes into all these games, it's a 2-legged affair. We're going to see a lot of cards shown in these first legs, and Xabi Alonso is an experienced enough manager to know that now, and perhaps just has that nous to get one over Vincent Kompany and send Bayer Leverkusen through.
I think Bayer Leverkusen is going to send Bayern Munich home in 2 legs is what is going to happen in this. Because I think, like you said, you're talking about Xabi Alonso having the experience over Vincent Kompany. And if anything has told me, Bayern Munich aren't good enough this season was that match against Celtic that we saw 2 weeks ago. That was shocking. We've seen them lose to, Barcelona. We've seen them, like you said, Bayern. They barely got past Celtic. And no disrespect to Celtic, but if you're a team like Bayern Munich with the likes of Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world, you have Joshua Kimmich, you have Manuel Neuer as your keeper, you are star-studded, and you're struggling against Celtic? Nope. No, I think Bayer Leverkusen has the grinta. They have the guts. They're going to go for it, and they're really going to fight, and I haven't seen that fight from Bayern Munich. But big matches tomorrow. The 3... Well, are you with us tomorrow, Angel?
Wait to see.
We'll find out if Angel is. KlintonCod will be back in the studio, though, and we'll be able to do the watch-along again with you guys for the tasty matches tomorrow. But let's get back into this evening's games because it is the second half now. The Santiago Bernabéu, it's kicked off 1-1. Let's see what either Madrid has in store for them. Meanwhile, we have Lille and Dortmund players coming out of the tunnel, as well as PSV and Arsenal. Those matches kicking off shortly. All right, Alex. Atleti to win, you were saying, was?
At the moment, 4.75.
4.75. It's not bad.
It's, I think, perhaps higher than I was expecting. Although it would be interesting to see how these first 15 minutes go. If we see them sit on the back foot a little bit and perhaps start defending a little bit more, I think that might give a picture of what the rest of this tie is going to be. or this game is going to be.
Yeah.
Because Real Madrid obviously wanting to make the most of this home advantage. Atleti knowing that they've got that second leg at home. They're not trailing. They've got that goal, that all-important goal. I think we could see this game change a little bit going into the second half. Koke and Azpilicueta there, the two players out for Atleti tonight.
First substitution made, or not the first actually, because we did see Luis Skelly come off. Nagalo of PSV is coming on for Flamengo. Some tactical changes here made for the Dutch side. Angel, maybe they really are trying to close that gap. I mean, maybe, of course they are.
Yeah.
But maybe earlier than expected, they're going to try and go for the jugular here and really...
Yeah, they're actually taking out Ryan Flamingo, who's a defender, the man who got the winner for them, the extra time winner in the game against Juventus.
Yeah.
And they're bringing in Nagalo, who, from the look of things, they want to just force your attack and hope to get that second goal. Like I said, from the way that they were playing before the first half ended, it was like guaranteed that they were going to come into the second half, picking up from where they left off, which is to try and get a second goal and then hope to see what comes out of it after 90 minutes. This is a side that was, very in favor against Juventus, and they fought till the end. I think they want to go out, fighting, and if they lose the game, then they lose.
Yeah.
You can only deal with what is in front of you. Mikel Arteta strategizing, and I'm wondering what you're discussing at this point. If it's to say we need to go out there and make it 4-1 before
or park the bus,
or pack the bus even.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait to see how Arsenal responds to this second half, and with the way that PSV have started the game.
Are you guys surprised that there
Oh.
have...
Oof.
Arsenal
There we go.
done it.
Arsenal
4-1.
is.
All right,
Arsenal
let's
has
go.
said Angel holds
My
my drink.
Angel, wait, no, it's too crazy. That's the worst possible option for PSG. Martin Odegaard goes ahead and gives Arsenal the fourth goal of the evening. It is now 4-1. And we were just saying that if PSV somehow get an early goal, close that gap just to 1, it could change everything. And Arsenal said, I have a different idea. This is exactly what Arteta's men needed to do, and gives them more confidence in the second leg to relax a little bit, make some substitutions. But early doors still. Let's take a look at this goal. Oof.
Or the keeper should have done.
Yeah, the
better
keeper
there.
did.
It's a good ball across from Ethan Ranieri there, and good positioning there from Martin Odegaard to be in the right place at the right time to get the fourth goal there for Arsenal. Atleti on the attack here. Cross in. Oh, no one there on the end of it, unfortunately.
Question for you, Alex, here. Markanday's comments. Actually, let's read Johnson first. Madrid should step up their game against Atletico if they want to advance to the quarterfinals. And then Markanday says, I'm Carlo's biggest fan, but this performance is becoming often start well, get a goal, and sit deep. What is this?
Yeah, I think we've seen Real Madrid go ahead in games. I think they went ahead in that Super Copa final, and we all know how that ended. We've seen them in the big games this season, other than City and the draws against Atleti. They've been disappointing. I think they'll say that themselves. And when you look at perhaps the way that they still control the games, but it looks like they...
Oh my, no, they haven't
what?
made it 5-0
Wow.
for, sorry, Alex, in the middle of the analysis, they said, wait, we're really going to show it up. Martin Odegaard goes 2 for 2. 2 goals in 2.
Is it Trossard?
Oh, it's Trossard, sorry. I saw there was a bit of a celebration there from Odegaard. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Now, Ria, what?
Chance at the back there was a mistake from, I believe it was Jose Maria Jimenez, who tried to play the pass late but was intercepted by Vinny. Well, no, I think he just played the ball back and it's gone out for a corner, I believe, for Real Madrid.
Oh, no. Just rewatching that Trossard
Poor defending
goal.
and poor goalkeeping for that second.
Yeah.
You can't let them get in that position.
Unfortunately, the nails are in the coffin here. Arsenal turn it on and score 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the second half. 5-1 for Arsenal against PSV, and it is going to be a long, long second half here at the Felice Stadion. For those fans there, it's difficult. It's difficult.
The Arsenal fans will be having a party in Eindhoven tonight.
No, What, the Brits drinking?
No, sensibly. No, back to what I was saying about Real Madrid. I think when we look at Real Madrid games this season, that's been the disappointing part of their season, where they haven't taken that role in those big games. I think Man City's the anomaly there, but Man City were really poor in that tie. I think, knowing the quality of players that Real Madrid have, I do think they could take these games a little bit more by the scruff of the neck and look to really try and kill these games off. There are games where they have to be a bit more cautious and a bit more sensible, perhaps, but they are there. They're at home. They've got that attacking talent. Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius. They've got the ability to perhaps go and, I think, get a second goal, get a third goal. I know they've got to be cautious with Atleti. Atleti do have that counter-attack. We've seen it against Barcelona with Soloth getting that goal. But yeah, I think perhaps Real Madrid fans would like to see Real Madrid take a little bit more of an onus going into these games and get that second and that third and really kill these games off, just to, I think, put their fans at ease as well.
Yeah, because going to the Wanda Metropolitano is not going to be easy for Real Madrid at all. No. If you've been in that stadium, you know that the atmosphere is actually electric. In fact, the fans are the way the players are and Simeone is. The way Simeone is, like the way he translates, his attitude translates to the way that they play on the pitch, is the same way that the fans are. Like, it's electrifying there. And Real Madrid will be aware of this. I mean, these are the city rivals. They know this. They go there from time to time. And with the Champions League, it's an entirely different affair altogether. Real Madrid started this second half looking like, they were out to get that after Atletico Madrid got the equalizer. Like, they could put one, find the back of the net and be 2-1, like 2 goals up. But that's not the case. Atletico seem to have found their rhythm. They're even playing like they're at home. They seem like the side who is at home.
And they're the ones attacking at the moment.
Exactly, they're attacking more.
And
it's another opportunity.
It's well defended there. Mendy dealing with the attack, I think. Griezmann there trying to get the shot off. A good cross in, and I think it is. Yeah, it's not quite the right angle there, as Rodrigo the Paul.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. Atleti obviously trying to go in for that second goal. You would expect at some point Simeone would instruct his side to sit back, but no, they've come out all guns blazing in the second half.
They really mean business when you look at Atleti. I don't know what happened, but they didn't seem to convert that corner kick that they had at all. And
chance for PSV. Oh, that's a good block there. Perisic with a lovely volley first time. There's a scuffle going on in the box here. We're going to see a card. Samuel Lino with a push on Raul Asensio and Mendy getting in a scuffle of his own. Real Madrid on the attack here. PSV having a corner. And, Lille still 1-0 down at Borussia Dortmund.
Well, it's been a very busy night for Noah Long in the game against PSV and Arsenal, but it's just quite unfortunate that it's already a decided affair.
It's been, it's a lovely save from David Raya. Real Madrid on the attack here as well. Is this, what a goal! Oh my word!
Real
Madrid. Diaz, the boy from Malaga. Oh my word! He jumps into the crowd and celebrates with the fans. That's an unbelievable move. Even better finish. Wow.
That was amazing. We took our eyes off for 1 second to look at the PSV game, and we came back and it was in the back of the net right there. Fantastic one by Brahim Diaz. This game has been a game of brilliant goals. Like, show me what stuff you're made of and I'm going to respond as well.
That's unbelievable. Brahim Diaz, saying we don't need Bellingham.
At all.
I'll come in and do this.
I mean, this is a statement to Clint and everyone else as to why he was brought in, why he was given the opportunity to start the game. And these are the kind of goals that you have to score against Jan Oblak, because when you go, if you don't make it difficult, you're never going to get the ball past the man. These are games these are opportunities that you have to take. It left him in a very precarious position. There was nothing he could do about that. And that was a very good goal. You can see the sigh of relief from Carlo Ancelotti and his assistants. That was a very good one for Real Madrid. The celebration, we didn't see that coming. For a minute, it looked like Atletico had the mantle, but Real Madrid has responded, and it's now 2-1 in favor of Real Madrid. Good one.
What a way to start the second half.
And Alex, your prediction. Sarah's prediction is already off now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I said, hey, I said a draw.
You said a draw, yeah, but it's no longer a draw. The team is
And
leading
we
now,
have,
no?
We have like 40 minutes of football, guys. Come on. I think Clinton's going to be kicking himself, though, for that comment because we have it live here where he said, I don't know what Brahim Diaz is doing, pardon me. And you just said that, like, this is what he's doing. He's saying, guys, watch this. Luka Modric, take a rest. It's all right. I'll take care of business here. Do you think, though, we will see some substitutions being made shortly for either side right now? I mean, potentially Camavinga hasn't had the best match. He's likely been the worst player for Madrid, showing some errors. And obviously, now that Atleti are down, they're going to want to maybe bring in the likes of Angel Correa sooner than later, maybe. And Sorloth, not quite yet.
No, to be honest, I think we might. I mean, obviously, it depends how Real Madrid and Ancelotti react to this goal because we were just talking about it then when they go ahead and they seem to sit back a little bit. There's a chance here, potential penalty for Lille. Dortmund, I think, should be okay. Jonathan David asking for a penalty, but don't think he's going to get it. Looks like more of a coming together. But yeah, I think it could go one of two ways here. Do Atleti see this and think, right, we've lost this one, but let's take it to the Metropolitano. There's still only one goal in it. Let's try and reduce or damage control in effect tonight and not concede anymore. But they could go the other way and like you said, bring on Correa and then later on Sorloth and try and get that second goal because it changes the tie if they go into that Metropolitano game level.
So are they taking, is the check over? Do you guys think that was a penalty?
I don't think they are. Not entirely sure.
No, and penalty
No.
over if there was one at all. All right, they're going to have to do more than that, Lille. Well, it's all heating up.
Collins says Arsenal to win 7-1. That's actually... it's Brahim Diaz as a yellow card.
Okay. So how many more?
Needed 3.
3 more.
3 more.
Okay.
Still time yet. Still half an hour to go.
Yeah. Might play in your favor right now if Atleti are down, get a little bit heated. Could see Rodrigo de Paul maybe, Barrios, like I said. It's definitely a possibility. Hernandez having a word with the Dortmund and Lille players saying, listen guys, I'm in charge here. Also getting heated on this end. Just 1-0 lead for Dortmund, obviously. So very tense match.
I would really love to see Lille get that equalizer. I don't know why, but I'm kind of rooting for them. Rooting for them also, it makes the game interesting.
Yeah.
I really want to see Jonathan Bailey, I want to see him like break that record.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredible, especially for the likes of, a Canadian to be breaking a record in European competitions. For a team like Lille, being one of the top scorers in Ligue 1, I think it's just, you would never have expected it from a North American in general. I mean, and if it were to be, it would probably be a Mexican, usually we see, right? Between the likes of Raul Jimenez and Chicharito, great players, but it's not usually a Canadian, so it would be
seeing
exciting.
a Canadian is like seeing a Jamaican do it.
Yeah, where's Chantal when we need her? She gets it. It's very rare. I mean, listen, Alphonso Davies really paved the way for Canadian players with what he's been able to do at Bayern Munich, winning the likes of a Champions League. So, slowly but surely.
The 2026 World Cup is going to look really interesting now.
No kidding. No kidding.
Well, it looks like Atleti is not backing down. Oh, my word.
Griezmann gets past the defender here, but Thibaut Courtois gets big and does enough for now for Real Madrid. But
Real Madrid come on the attack. I'm not sure if that was a foul.
wow,
Chance
Griezmann.
there. It was a lovely shot. A good save. What a save from
What a
Thibaut
save by
Courtois.
Thibaut Courtois.
Showing again why he's the best goalkeeper in the world.
And the long arms work in his favor.
Allison has something to say about that, I think. I think Griezmann just surprises me more and more. I mean, he still plays as if he's about 23.
Hang on. Oh, it was a free kick. I thought it was a penalty for a minute.
No.
Oh, concerned.
What's happening? Yeah, it was a foul against Clement Longley in the end. So Griezmann back up to the ball to take it. Who else?
Collins said Arsenal to win the Champions League this season without a striker.
Come on.
Not sure about that.
Come on.
Not sure.
Arsenal fans, relax.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oof.
Another chance for Atleti
How's
from
their fault?
Jimenez. Oof. They are pushing.
They're really not backing down, Atletico. And I love that about them.
Markinde saying that Arda Güler might get a chance tonight. Do you guys think we'll see Arda Güler come on?
Nope.
Well,
I doubt it.
I don't think so in a game like this. We've seen that Carlo Ancelotti doesn't really, I don't want to say trust the youngster, but what did he come out and say last week? That they have to earn their spot here. And, you know, Fede had to do it, Brahim had to do it, Camavinga had to do it, and he's just not there yet. And also, you're playing against Atletico. It's only a 1-0 lead. Oh, here we go. And it's Luka Modric.
yeah, I was going to say there's a Luka Modric on the bench.
Experience is coming in, and it's not Güler yet. Yet. Let's wait and see. But I think this game is way too close right now to bring in Arda Güler. I think you'll see the likes of...
Maybe Lucas Vasquez?
Is Lucas Vasquez on the bench?
Yeah, he is.
He's healthy enough. Yeah,
If he's healthy enough.
I think if Atleti score, we might see Endrick.
Yeah,
I think if Atleti, but I think, maybe Lucas Vasquez if it stays like this, if Real Madrid lead. I think it just depends on the scoreline. But I do think we might be seeing some Atletico substitutions sooner than later over some more Real Madrid substitutions. They need something, and it's just not clicking right now.
I must say Mbappe and Vinicius have been quiet tonight.
You have to give Atleti credit for shutting those two down, but I think at the same token, that's what's given Rodrigo and that flank more of an option.
That's where Real Madrid is so good. You lock up one or two players, and then they've still got 3 or 4 more players that can cause you damage. And I mean, I don't think that was a foul. I think it was more of a coming together, and
yeah,
I don't think Valverde meant anything by it. A yellow card for Emre Can. Dortmund still 1-0 up. Half an hour to go.
Don't you have a prediction on cards?
For
yes,
Dortmund, I don't.
for Real Madrid Atleti.
Okay.
Real Madrid, Atleti, I need 3.5 cards in total, or over 3.5 cards.
There's a card.
There's another card here.
Yeah.
Oh, Carlo Ancelotti
Atleti.
getting seen by the...
Oh, no, it's for Davide.
Oh,
Oh, no,
okay.
it's not even for Davide, is it? It's for one of the coaches on the sideline. Not sure which one.
Does that count, dude?
That's a good question.
I think it does count. I'm hearing from our producer that it counts.
Oh, yeah, it's not,
Oh,
it's
he
not
said,
Davide.
I don't know. Never mind.
It's not Davide.
Why do I feel like that doesn't count?
I feel like it should be just players.
Yeah, me too. Like, it should be an open play, not like people on the bench.
Well, there he is, Conor Gallagher and Noel Molina in the match here. Alex, your fellow Englishman, has entered the match. We saw what a standing ovation that Diego Simeone gave him over the weekend after his brilliant double tackle against Athletic Bilbao. But it's Giuliano Simeone coming off as well as...
I think we're going to start to see more bookings in this game.
I told you,
The coaches'
just
ones
wait.
don't count, but I don't think I have to
Oh,
worry
shock.
about
Rodrigo and Vinny. What did I say? Watch both of them.
It's the Emperors of Flaring.
I think this one, not much in it. I think it was a foul. I don't think it was a booking. You can see him sort of bring his arm around Vinny. And the two coming together. We've seen those two come together in the past.
Just to confirm, it's Samuel Lino who's been subbed off and Giuliano Simeone for Noel Molina and Conor Gallagher. So Atleti trying to add a little bit more fuel into their fire here with some fresh legs. I think the thing is that Griezmann and Julian Alvarez have both done brilliantly, and right now to change that, maybe Simeone is trying to see if they can move some other players around before they go after one of these two for the likes of a Correa or Sorloth in the end. But, chance, but not enough. Was that for Mendy? I was going to say, is Rudiger back at it again? Really trying to get on the board here.
Our fellow Mendy. That was a good one. I almost caught Yano Black unawares. But Real Madrid still pushing for another goal.
They have to.
Yeah,
I think they know that a 1-0 lead playing at the Metropolitano next week, it's not enough. It's not enough. And Atleti have kind of broken that, I don't want to say curse, but the idea that a lot of people have where they're, a 1-0 winning team, that they don't score a lot of goals because they've proven that they can score goals. They can come back. They fight to the end. They're not just going to park the bus and play the counter. It's a different kind of football Simeone's implemented this season. So I think because of that, Ancelotti and his men know This one goal is not safe enough.
Yeah, exactly.
No way, no way.
They used to be so pragmatic before, where they just make sure that they seal up their defense. When they had the like of Diego Godin,
Yep.
you can get the ball past them.
Yep.
They just make sure that they seal up the defense and then score, gets you on a counter or just score one goal and that's it. And then you never get to, to score, equalize. But this time around, they now have more attacking-minded players. Players who want to do damage. And the defense is still not bad. So
Yeah.
it's like an evenly balanced team. And I'm glad to see it for Simeone.
Yeah, I'm happy as well because I think, as much as, like you said, it was pragmatic, it wasn't the best football to watch.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing an Atleti who have proven to be very exciting and really go for it. Looking like PSV are making some subs here, trying for something. And it's Luke de Jong and Ledesma coming out for the Dutch side. Bossagli will get the captain's band here. Some tired legs for sure for PSV, going down 5-1 to Arsenal. And it's Bakayoko, who we've seen some brilliance in the Champions League, and Karsdorp coming in as well. I don't think it'll
But I wouldn't want to come in a game like this, honestly. Like,
Too little, too late, I think. for
Yeah.
PSV.
I think it's time to rest some of your players, though. They still have...
We're getting fouls here in this Madrid derby. I think we might slowly start to see some more bookings.
Previously we were thinking it was the Champions League game, but now they're reminding us that it's a derby as well. Like, these are rivals, city rivals. I mean, what kind of game would we be watching if you're watching a Real Madrid play Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid play Barcelona? You expect to see like some aggressive play.
Yeah.
And that's what we were seeing in this in the last few minutes, with the fouls here and there.
Absolutely. Jamie Gittins coming off for Bayer in Dortmund's match over here.
Still need a few more goals in Dortmund. Between
You
Borussia
need-
Dortmund and Lille, I need 2 more goals.
2 more goals, okay.
It could come from either team, right?
Yeah,
Like-
either team. Ideally, a Lille goal and then Dortmund feel the pressure to attack and get that goal and take the tie with a lead. Oh, what a turn. Oh, what a turn. That was an unbelievable turn. Is there a penalty, potentially? A bit of a late tackle there from Jose Maria Jimenez.
I don't think so.
I think so. It was
Bringing
just
down Brahim Diaz. A lovely turn. Oh, exquisite. What a turn. I think quite often we forget how good Brahim Diaz is.
very talented player. I think it's just the issue of consistency with him. It's not enough to just have the
I guess
talent.
more the game time as well.
I think it's game
with the front three that Real Madrid have,
Yeah.
he's not playing week in, week out. And
Woo!
oh, there you go.
Dortmund! No, is it Lille? Sorry.
Lille.
Leah,
Is it
That's
called,
what we
is it
need.
offside? Is it? Sorry.
he's
1-0.
got a confirmation.
Did I tell you guys? Don't trust Dortmund. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. 1-1 at Signal Iduna. This is
Yes,
what
it is.
Lille need. Light the fire. You're playing at home next weekend, or next week rather. And Alex, you need 1 more goal.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Suddenly all looking very tasty heading into this last 20 minutes. I need 2 more.
2 more cards, 1 more goal.
No, I need 3 more bookings, sorry, in the Real Madrid Atleti
3.
game. PSV, Arsenal, both teams' scores come through, and I need 1 more goal in the Borussia Dortmund and Lille game.
All right, well, Jonathan David will get on the scoreboard. I believe it.
Well, that's a good one by Hurricane.
My
Yeah, really well done.
My Madrid Derby bet builder, over 2.5 goals has come through. Over 3.5 bookings, still waiting on that. Need a Kylian Mbappe goal, and I've got both teams to score has already come through. So
Right on track. Oh, De Jong seems to be having that
he's-
well-deserved rest.
Looks
He seems to have
exhausted. He
been-
looks defeated. Oh, that's a bit upsetting.
you can't tell whether that's a still image or...
Yeah, he's just, there's no life behind those eyes right now. Oh,
That's a good meme there. A good
yeah,
meme.
oh,
a
I'm
football
sure.
meme.
I'm sure the internet
Hitting a
has
man while he's down.
All right, guys, so here, as it stands, we got 1-1 at Signal Iduna. Wow, chance for Dortmund there. Karim Adeyemi just getting a little bit tangled in his own feet. He probably could have finished that one. But how are we feeling going into the last 20 minutes? You guys leaning one way? Do you think we're going to see a winner in this one?
I think if anyone, I think Dortmund, I think the other 2 games will stay the same. I think Dortmund might just bounce back after that Lille equaliser.
Le Normand coming in. Okay.
Atleti, I think that means they're shutting up shop for the night.
Oh, that's not the sub I wanted to see.
I think that's what we'll see. But perhaps because we've seen that Real Madrid have quite a lot of success down that left-hand side with Javi Galán, that maybe we'll see Robert Lenormand just come in to bolster that defence a little bit. We know the quality he has. Yeah, Griezmann coming off, so it looks like Atleti might be switching to a back five now, with Julian Alvarez becoming the lone striker, and then Jimenez, Lenglet and Lenormand making up that back three with Llorente and Galán as wing backs.
I think it's too soon to make such a very defensive. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ethan and Mbappe coming off for Fernandez Pardo. It kind of looks like Mbappe did pick up maybe a bit of a knock here. He was on the ground for a while, and it looked like he wasn't able to finish up the match, which is a shame for the young Frenchman. But maybe fresh legs for Lille could be good in this Dortmund match. Yeah, going back to the Madrid derby, though, I'm not pleased with this decision by Simeone, but I do think it's because they know that the second leg is at home, and they're probably hoping to capitalize on that. But I think the fact that you're still down a goal, if it was a draw, maybe. We're right, where it's a stalemate, it's basically 0-0, fine. But I don't want to see you guys just sitting back now, because Real Madrid still are on the attack.
Yeah. That's basically the setup that they have taken from what we can see now. All the red and white checks are just behind the ball.
This is the football we were talking about that we were saying we don't want it. The pragmatic football. And again, a little too late for us here, because it looks like that's what Simeone has in mind.
But then Real Madrid has to be careful, you know? They have to be
Potential
careful.
yellow card there? No foul.
I'm a bit shocked that there's no foul. I don't know about a card, but you're putting the hand on somebody as the last man, it looked like. Okay.
Interesting.
I think that should be a wake-up call for Real Madrid to say, you know, when you press that high, you should keep some people behind.
Sterling and Zinchenko on for Arsenal.
Let's make it.
Sorry, carry on, Angel.
No, it's no worries.
I think Atleti, with Julian Alvarez up front, I don't
sorry,
think...
this is a foul. This is a foul all day long. He grabbed the back of his collar there.
I don't think Julian Alvarez up top on his own is enough of a presence to threaten that Real Madrid defence. We know how good that Rudiger has been this season, and I think Raul Asensio has been impressive as well.
But Rudiger is playing high up. You can see that when they push forward, he's playing high because of his aerial prowess.
Yeah.
He's pushing forward, so that leaves a lot of space at the back. And we know how rash he can be when he's trying to catch up with a striker. We saw that over the weekend. So I would say they should just make sure that they shorten it up.
Oh, deal with another chance there.
Schlotterbeck.
These games are really opening up. I think, obviously, apart from the Arsenal game, there's still a lot to play for. Dortmund and Lille at 1-0, Real Madrid 2-1 up.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how this one goes.
The round of 16 is proving to be a round of 16 now.
I mean, this is what we want to see.
Yeah.
See the teams providing us with lots of entertainment, and they have done tonight.
15 goals so far across these 4 matches, including Aston Villa and Club Brugge. And we got about 20 to 15 minutes left in these games, guys. Not bad at all. Averaging almost 4 goals a match here. And it's only the first leg and the first match day.
Oh! Is that a golazo?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Odegaard.
Who wrote in the chat 7-1 for Arsenal? I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Holland. All
Stick
right.
it on.
We
Stick
heard
it
you.
on.
It's time. It's time. Barrios and Rodrigo de Paul coming out for Angel Correa and Alexander Sorloth. Yes, Simeone.
Okay.
Yes. Wake up. I don't want this sitting back. Perfect. Okay. He was just, he was moving some pieces around.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. All right. Good. Because, otherwise, no, it would have been a very difficult time for Atleti here. But I like that. They're going to go for the draw, and that makes next week's game even more exciting if they're able to draw it up. All right.
6-1. I mean, that's a drubbing. Embarrassing for PSV, that is.
Yeah, it's...
Is this where Clinton comes along and says something like they don't deserve to be in the Champions League or something?
Yeah. The comment for Who was the initial Slovan Bratislava against Bayern Munich?
No, it's Dinamo Zagreb.
Dinamo Zagreb, Brest against PSG 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, it's a bit tricky, this.
But the goalkeeper in that goal, he should be doing better, no? The last goal from Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think the goalkeeper had a touch to it. He should be doing better. I don't know why he didn't anticipate it, why he didn't react on time.
I think the mentality of this side has gone. Like I said, they started off that second half with a goal early on from Trossard just to kind of hit the nail in the coffin there. It's really hard for these.
Markinde saying, no, I don't want to see Arsenal winning a match.
Shock.
Unfortunately, Markinde, you are going to witness Arsenal winning a match this evening.
Not just winning, even whitewashing the other team.
Unless you want to hedge 150 odds for a PSV win, I don't think we're going to see anything else. Lille still 8 to win this game. Odds of 8, that's quite high. Considering they've scored.
They've scored. They need a goal. They need one goal.
Atleti 65 odds of 65 to win this game. Real Madrid 1.12 and Borussia Dortmund 3.25 with the draw at 1.57. So the draw being the favourable result there. As Real Madrid come on the attack here, Kylian Mbappe looking to find some space.
It's all been in the area of Atleti the last 5-10 minutes here. They're really kind of holding it back, and Madrid are trying to make this. Oh.
Some PSV fans leaving early.
Oh no, and the Arsenal fans waving goodbye to them. The travelling fans.
Can hear
from London.
the cheerio chants. Or we can see you sneaking off.
Yeah.
Is the other chant quite often used by.
What are your guys' thoughts on leaving matches early, in general?
I think there are a few acceptable occasions. If you've got a train or a plane to catch to get home, and
you got a train or a plane though. You base it around match.
But if you have to go home that evening and that is the last train that you can catch, fair enough, go.
But then I don't think I would go to the match if I knew I was going to miss like the last 20 minutes.
No, but not. I mean, 20 minutes is different. I think when you leave 5 or 10 minutes before the end, where you have to catch a train or you have to catch a plane.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously it's 6. I get it. It's 6-1 for Arsenal, but they're leaving 15 minutes before the match, and that's without extra time being added. So you can assume that's almost 20 minutes of match time they're missing.
Trust me, they're not catching any train or any
Oh,
bus.
no,
They just want to go.
They're going to have a serious think about.
They're going to find a bar or a cafe to sit in and think about this.
Ismaili and Macau out for Lille, with Andre Gomes and Bakker coming in. Looking for those fresh legs. Lille trying to make a last-minute push. I love that. For me, honestly, I don't think there's much of a good reason to leave a game early whatsoever. Like, I understand the circumstances you're saying, but usually if I were to be going to a game, I would make sure that my journey home was already sorted out based on the match. Because if I'm going to make sure I'm going to a match, I'm going to make sure I have that time. The timetables with the trains or the buses or whatever. Even if you're losing, I get that it's absolutely heartbreaking, but I think it's poor form to leave a match early. Or like, because you want to not beat traffic, then don't drive. Like, this is football.
You talk about, actually, I was thinking, and I was mentioning this to someone today, it's been a while since I've been to a game as a fan, because usually with our journalist hats on, we're sitting there and we're working, so we're working until the end.
What was the last game you went to as a fan?
As a fan? Christmas, I think. Obviously, I'm a fan of football, so I go as a fan, but not in my journalist capacity. I've been to one this season, I think.
When was the last time I went to a match as a fan? Wait, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
When was the last time I enjoyed a good old match?
I went to watch my team in England, Yeovil Town, play Eastleigh on Boxing Day. Atleti on the attack here.
Yeah.
Oh, a possible handball there. Is it going to be called back? I don't think it is. Atleti still on the attack here. Soloff.
We had it the other way.
You had to take that. Oh, who was that? Rio Irante.
I was wondering when the substitutes will begin to make their mark in the game, and they seem to have responded.
Well, Markinde made a good point, saying Atletico have no midfield now. If Real Madrid can circulate the ball well, they'll score. But it was true. For a moment there, we just saw everyone in Atleti's side of the pitch there. I'm still trying to think of what was the last match I went to as a fan. Oh.
Have you been this season?
As a fan? Oh, well, sure, we all went as to Real Sociedad and
Oh,
Las
okay.
Palmas as a work. Our work took us up to San Sebastián, and we went there. And we were fans. We weren't working,
Yeah, we
to
weren't
be fair.
working.
Worst match I've ever seen in my life.
0-0.
0-0 Las Palmas Real Sociedad. It couldn't have gotten worse. It was a cold day in San Sebastián, but you don't forget those games still. It's always good to go to a football
Mine
match.
was last year, Valencia, in a Copa del Rey game.
Yeah, you were there? That
Yeah,
was your
yeah.
last one?
Yeah.
Okay. What was when? Like April?
Around in February.
Oh, February.
Yeah.
You hit
around
that
February
1 year
last
mark.
1 year mark.
Time to go. Yeah.
Oh, Real Madrid, again on the attack. I don't know, for some reason, there's just something off about the Madrid setup right now. It could be like, maybe they're still trying to understand what Diego Simeone just did with the introductions that he just made.
I think the big thing is that Atleti are now playing with 5 defenders, and they're
Yeah, so
finding that
it's-
space even more hard to come by.
Yeah.
And well, Sterling on the attack here for Arsenal gives the ball away.
Some bad news here for Dortmund. Looking like they're calling on the medics to come out. Just,
That looks quite painful. Oh, never good when you see a player.
Oh,
going
there
that
you go.
hard.
Marcelo in the stands cheering for his former club.
I wouldn't smile too hard if
Painful.
I were him.
Painful.
Oh, look at Vasquez.
There you go. You called it. Svensson on the ground. There's actually a
Potential
potential
red card check.
card here. Tackle was from behind. It really did look bad.
Yeah, from Andre Gomez, and he should know better because
And
he
he
has been on the
just-
receiving end of this. We talked about it last time about Son and him, and then
Yeah.
now that was a rash tackle.
And he just subbed on about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So
just came in.
no, this is, yeah, the way that his knee kind of hits the ground there and is pulled back. Oh, you never like to see it. Schlotterbeck is already signaling we have to make a substitution here. Not good news for Lille or Dortmund, depending on how you look at it. They're still looking over if it is going to be a red card.
Wait to see what that decision is. I hope not for Leo. It was rash tackle, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think it was.
But yeah, I think it was the way the player landed that affected the knee, and then his reaction. So that makes you think that
I think
Gomez was.
he had
yeah.
both hands on him from behind and had no intention of going for the ball. I think that's
Yeah,
why.
that's-
There was absolutely no intent, and you can't just bring someone down, even though it wasn't necessarily harsh or super aggressive. He wasn't going to play the ball.
I think perhaps
would
a yellow
assume.
card, but
Well-
red maybe a little bit too harsh.
Let's see. We haven't seen a red card yet this evening, and
PSV giving it a go. They've had a few corners in the last couple of minutes.
oh, look at the fans. and
Good
there
to
they go.
see Brent back up and walking, I think.
Is that Giovanni Reina coming in? I believe so
It
for
is.
Dortmund.
Yeah, and that makes sense. We're seeing
I'm just looking at Kylian Mbappe now and
Who?
seeing for the first time.
Where?
Is it the game? Like, where have you been?
Where have you been?
And I think it's just too much respect for this man. Like, why? If it was any other player who hasn't showed up in a game like this, he would have been long substituted. But it's Kylian Mbappe, so you just leave him on there because, you know, you believe at the back of your mind that he could do damage at any point in time, you know, even if he had had a bad game all through. But
I think the big thing is, like you said, you never know when he could always pull up with a moment of magic. But then also by taking him off, Atleti then allows Atleti to focus a little bit more on putting efforts into their attack. But if they keep Vinicius and Mbappe on, they've still got that in the back of their mind that we can't go too far forward because they've got those two really quick players who could really punish us if we let them have space, which is something Atleti have done very well tonight to limit the space for Real Madrid going forward.
Yeah.
I think Atleti's still giving it a go. They haven't completely shut up shop.
Hey, listen, like I said, if they walk away from this in a draw, that's a win for them.
I think even going into the second leg 2-1, it's
Oh, yeah.
still well in the balance.
It's all up in the air. It's not 6-1 Arsenal PSV for sure.
I think Arsenal, couldn't afford to really rest some players going into this second leg, and perhaps what they
Bring in
needed.
some youngsters.
Bring in some youngsters and, well, give some players some much needed rest ahead of a really busy period at the end of the season,
Yeah.
Premier League and Champions League as well.
This is the moment where Arsenal turns it around, guys.
And they win the Premier League.
They win the Champions League too.
please.
I always think back to that David Raya interview last season where he was asked if they would rather win the Premier League or the Champions League. It was a question along those lines, and he said both. This year, I think the Premier League is out of reach. Could they win the Champions League? Is that
That's what we're
too
saying at the beginning of the
unreasonable?
show.
When you were
Maybe they
saying
could.
like arrest some players, and I was like, arrest them for what exactly? Like,
I mean,
what are they
they're
arresting
not,
for?
They're not in the Carabao Cup final. They're no longer in the FA
Yeah,
Cup.
exactly. So what are they really arresting for?
I mean, I think 'cause they
Whoever
picked up
it
so
is.
many injuries that they don't want to have any more injuries, knowing that they're pretty much into
Yeah.
the quarterfinals. And let's remember that they are going to be playing the winner of Real Madrid and Atleti. So I think it's a matter of why would you risk playing a player, you know, like, I don't know, Leandro Trossard, when he might be useful in that game against Real or Atleti.
He hasn't really been so great, so you can still play.
You can go ahead and play him. Hey, Bukayo Saka back
He's
for
back
the game
again.
against
Yeah.
Madrid and Madrid. Come on. Starting to get very interesting. The narratives are going in our heads here as we're still in the first.
I mean, he'll be
Like-
back, but whether he'll be fit is another, is a different, you know.
Yeah, but I think at that point, if they're out of everything, another chance for Arsenal here, and they make it 7-1.
Go on.
Collins!
Hey.
Collins!
Tagliafieri.
I really hope that someone put a bet on that. 7-1.
I need to know who this is. How, if Clinton was here, he would say the juju.
Oh.
Collins had the juju. 7-1. Nobody, Alex, you said there's no way. None of us thought this was going to be 7-1. And here we
Surely
have
not.
Collins. Wow. Wow. Oh
Unbelievable,
my
that is.
goodness.
Oh my God. PSV.
Wow.
Where did you go?
Where was the PSV that played Juventus?
7.
I told you guys.
Heaven for Arsenal.
Juventus.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing. A bit of a collision here with what, Brahim Diaz and Angel Correa, it looks like.
No bookings though.
Alex, how many do you need still? 2?
They only need 3.
You need there's been one booking in this match.
Unbelievably, yeah. There's been.
Do you know what? I mean, to be fair, and it was Brahim Diaz. I think bookings is for the second leg because that's where it's all
Yeah.
gonna kick off. In the end, Andre
Yeah.
Gomes didn't get that red card, by the way. So all 22
Goodness.
players still on the pitch here. 1-1 at Signal Iduna. About 4 minutes left of regular time, and it's getting cagey between some of these players, though. Maybe you picked the wrong game for booking times.
It's good to see Kieran Tierney get some minutes on the pitch for Arsenal there.
Yeah.
Player that perhaps hasn't had the best of years, obviously on loan at Real Sociedad last season and back in the Arsenal setup. 7-1 though, that is unbelievable.
7-1 is, that's a big. We've seen a lot of mass. There's Endrick.
Endrick coming
There's
on. I assume
Endrick.
Vinny or, no, it's Brahim Diaz.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe that little collision there with Correa just to rest him. And I think Brahim Diaz, man of the match for me tonight. I think he's been fantastic on that left-hand side and really causing a lot of trouble for Atletico Madrid. And the cherry on top of the cake there with a brilliant finish for that second goal.
Taking a look at that finish again, I mean, watching it like again just shows you like the amount of
Skill.
work that he did there. I mean, we're talking about the first goal by Rodrigo, and then we talked about the one by Julian Alvarez, but that one was really fantastic. When you look at the number of red and white shirts, the number of Atletico players that he got the ball past, and also, you know, Yano Black did not stand a chance against that one. You just have to give kudos to the man. He's done a great job tonight. And we wait to see what Endrick, who has just come in, will do. Hopefully he replicates what he did in the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Ugh.
Endrick already getting pulled down by Julian Alvarez, a classic Argentina-Brazil rivalry here. Atleti have about, I'd say, what, a couple, 3 minutes of extra time, maybe 4?
3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, meaning that they have about 5 minutes end to end to make something happen here. But as it stands, Real Madrid looking like they're going to win the first leg of the round of 16 in this Madrid derby.
Really helps them going into that second leg at the Metropolitano.
I think it does, but I also agree with what Angel just said. I think one goal is not,
It's definitely not over.
it's not
Half
enough.
over.
They'll be happy they won, but they were hoping, I think they would be hoping that they would have won by more.
Yeah.
And I think it means for us who are watching that the second leg is still wide open.
Yeah. They know that going to the Wanda Metropolitano is not going to be easy. And imagine if, look at the way that Atletico are playing here at the Santiago Bernabéu. That's to tell you that we don't have respect for you, no respect, and we're going to go back home and we're going to come all guns blazing.
Yeah.
So I really worry for Real Madrid if they're unable to get like a third goal, because it's not going to be an easy fixture
For sure.
when they travel to
Oh,
play
but
at-
they are pushing for that third goal.
Oh,
wow.
oh, the ball is still in play.
Yeah, there was a chance there for Endrick.
Oh my goodness.
Who was the defender? Was that Marcos Llorente who ended up picking that ball up from Endrick? Zooming back there to make sure that ball didn't reach the Brazilian who was open in front of the net here. Sorry, who is this? Who made that run? Because that was
I think it was Mbappe with the run.
No. That is Llorente from Atletico here, who stopped that entire play from happening. What a run! Individually, they just made this match still stay at 2-1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Luka Modric with the final shot, but you should expect better from him. I think that was too easy, the final shot for Yano Black.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those. Meanwhile, over at Signal Iduna, still 1-1, guys. Are we shocked? Are we happy?
Yeah, I think Dortmund have been, I think it's fair to say, not been impressive tonight. I think when you look at the way that Lille have dealt with their attack, their 4 minutes added on. Dortmund with the attack here, so Guirassy going to get a shot off, not quite. Chevalier with a clearance there. But yeah, I think when you look at this game tonight, it's been fairly even. I think Lille have done well to have their possession and control of the game, and Dortmund as well. Perhaps some chances in there. We're looking at a possible handball there from Jonathan David, or a foul on Jonathan David. But yeah, I think a tight game. I think 1-0 is probably a fair result coming into this one.
Yeah, and I think Lille will be happy knowing that they're going to go back home and play, and knowing how Signal Iduna is probably the most daunting stadium in Europe to play in, and they're walking away with a clean slate.
Yeah.
I think that's great news for the French side.
Yeah, they would be really, really happy with this one.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Lille, I think, is going through.
I think, with the way that Borussia Dortmund played in this game and not failing to convert their chances, then definitely Lille stands a chance. I mean, if they go back home and they don't capitalize on this and get a win and get through to the next round, then
deserve it. But I think it's definitely playing in their favor and playing in my favor in that, Dortmund, I don't. Alex, you were saying it too. I asked you, which team do you not trust out of Arsenal, Dortmund, and Atletico? Dortmund. Dortmund every single time. Every single time. Yeah. Well, it's almost wrapped up here at the Philippe Stadion. About 30 seconds left for the poor PSV as Arsenal absolutely smashed it, and they're up 7-1.
There's a close one there. Leo
One
had
last
a
chance for Dortmund. Seo Guirassy has the ball here on the left-hand side. Dortmund with perhaps, I know there's still 2 minutes to go, so there's still a bit of time. Can they play the ball into the middle?
Looks tired, eh? These players are looking a little...
That's a nasty tackle, that is. That's a rightly so, a yellow card there. A late tackle, poor challenge.
Well, there you have it. Real Madrid 2, Atletico 1, and 1 goal separates these two as they head to the Metropolitano next week. It's all up in the air. A very cagey affair, but not cagey enough, Alex, for those fouls, unfortunately.
No, short on the bookings. A good win for Real Madrid. They got the job done. They were out of the blocks quickly, and I think that's probably what, in the end, was the key there for Real Madrid. Atleti got off to a very slow start, and when you go 1-0 down at the Bernabéu, it's an even more difficult of a challenge. And they weren't able to hold on to that 1-1 draw that they had, and they'll be disappointed, I think, with that result.
Yeah, I think so. I think, to be honest, both teams are going to come out of this disappointed. Atleti obviously losing, hoping to maybe get a win or a draw, obviously. But I think Real also could have won by more of a margin. We didn't see Vinicius Jr. at all. We didn't see Mbappe. Why was that? What are they going to do to change these tactics for next time? It was, I think overall, I know we saw 3 goals, but not the best match from either side here.
Well, I think in this game, when you look at the scoreline, it doesn't really tell you what happened in the game. Because Real Madrid did not play, they weren't at their best today. They weren't exceptional. They just took those chances when they got them. or it was just mere individual brilliance in both situations. It wasn't good teamwork. There was nothing outstanding about the front line. The first goal was simply a case of Rodrigo doing what he knows how to do best, and then the other one was Brahim Diaz doing what he knows how to do best. We didn't even see Kylian Mbappe. We didn't see Vinicius Junior. We didn't see what the midfielders could do. It was even Luka Modric when he came in that was, at least, even with his age, putting up a bit of a fight. And the man with the player of the game, the man of the match, goes to Rodrigo. That's a surprise.
I think it's Brahim, and then it's Julian Alvarez, and then it's Rodrigo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I do think Rodrigo played well tonight.
I do, but there were still better
plaudits.
players.
Who would you have given it to, though?
I said Brahim Diaz would be number one, but number two would have been Julian Alvarez for me, and then Rodrigo. I mean, he was one of the best players on the pitch, but I think there were... It's always interesting because I don't always find it goes to the best player, but he'll be happy to get it, and it's good motivation for him to get that for the second leg, obviously, with the likes of Vinny and Mbappe getting a lot of the spotlight, if you will. But that's why it would have been nice for, I think, Brahim Diaz as well. But Brahim doing an amazing job this evening, cementing his name as he does when he usually plays, and showing this is why I get play time and not Luka Modric, maybe.
Yeah.
And what about for Arsenal and PSV? A really long day for PSV as they lose 7-1. But I think the man of the match here has to be Martin Odegaard. He was absolutely brilliant in this, not only involved in goal creation, but actual goals themselves.
Yeah. He was actually phenomenal in this particular game. He was creating, and he also scored, got on the score sheet. I'll be surprised if someone else gets the man of the match in this one other than him. But, you know, the entire Arsenal team today, they showed up for the game and they showed out. They were exceptional. Although you would say that PSV was also not convincing enough. They didn't even pose any threat whatsoever to Arsenal. It was a comfortable victory for them. At some point, I thought I was watching some basketball because it didn't seem like football anymore. But good thing for Mikel Arteta. I mean, they're going to come into the next game knowing that they have a comfortable, advantage, and they don't have to do so much. All they need to do is just see off the game to the end, and that's all for the 90 minutes, and they go through to the next stage.
Yeah. So Arsenal definitely in the most comfortable position out of all four matches this evening. Lille getting the draw at Signal Iduna, 1-1 there. Did you guys think anyone stood out specifically for you guys on either side of this team? Because it was, Alex, like you said, pretty equal affair.
Is it fair to say no?
I
mean,
I agree.
I look at that midfield. I thought probably Karim Adeyemi. I think you know, with the strike, and I thought Guirassy was really quiet. Gittins was quiet. The midfield, Sabitzer and Pascal Gross, perhaps not playing as a forward role as maybe we would have expected. I know Sabitzer's a bit more prone to dropping back, and Pascal Gross, we've seen at Brighton, going further forward, but no one really shone for Lille either. I thought Jonathan David was solid up front, but perhaps lacked that support. I think he was a bit too isolated up top there, and not quite often we saw him hold the ball up there, and was getting fouled quite a lot towards the end, and didn't really have that runner to perhaps hold the ball and then pass the ball off to. I thought Haraldsson was decent on that left-hand side, but no one really stood out and put their mark on that team sheet and said, yeah, I deserve man of the match tonight for me. All
right. Well, let us know. We just asked you guys in a poll here if you think Atletico will be able to turn up for the second leg against Madrid. Markinde says, Alex, Mbappe and Vinny no-show for 90-minute. Brahim Diaz is my man of the match.
I agree. I think Brahim Diaz was fantastic. I thought he was causing a lot of problems, and this is where Real Madrid are so good. They've got so many good players going forward, so many quality players in different positions, that you put all your concentration on Mbappe and Rodrigo, and then, well, there's still 3 or 4 to contend with and deal with. And I think perhaps, like I think I said this earlier, we often forget about how good Brahim is, and on the ball he showed that tonight, and it was a fantastic move for the goal, and well, a fully deserved performance, and very happy for him tonight. All
right, guys. Well, 4 matches this evening, 17 goals. It's the first leg of the round of 16. We have the second leg tomorrow, and like we mentioned, we have PSG and Liverpool, Leverkusen and Dortmund, Bayern Munich, oh my goodness, Benfica and Barcelona, and Inter and Feyenoord. Angel, do you think we're going to see more goals tomorrow?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
I wish I could, because today was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I would hate for it to end tomorrow, like just take a dip.
Yeah.
I would like it to just be on the same level or even better.
Yeah.
So I would expect more goals, not more goals, but at least goals of equal standing.
Yeah.
But we wait to see.
But maybe because we have, I want to say, more equal matches, it might not be with PSG and Liverpool and, of course, Leverkusen and Bayern Munich. I think those ones are a little bit more evenly matched. You know, we're not seeing Arsenal and PSV because, I mean, to be honest, if it wasn't for this game.
But it's a Feyenoord, you know.
Yeah, Feyenoord and Inter. But
Inter is not
let's
even
not pretend that Inter are a
Let's-
high-scoring
yeah,
team.
exactly.
Inter are one and we're done kind of side. So, I mean, like, I think you're right. I think if we do see any high-scoring affair, I would like to think it comes from Barcelona against Benfica. But I think the other ones might be a little bit closer. We'll have to see.
I think we could see some goals in the PSG-Liverpool game.
I think so.
could be
7-1?
Maybe
No,
not.
definitely
Maybe
not.
not.
Maybe a 2-2, 3-3, 4.
If they win 7-1, if I don't care who, someone buys me lunch just for saying because that would be, no, there's...
Markinday's saying Barca 1, Benfica 7.
Okay.
Okay.
He's forgotten about Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Pedri, Dani Olmo. It's fine. It's fine. Markinday, Real Madrid, why? Leave Barcelona out of this. We'll have to be... We are waiting for ClintonCod to get out of that packed stadium as we have... well, no, he has some explaining to do. I think he has some apologies to be... some apology letters maybe to write to Brahim Diaz. He's got all of his bets wrong. Kylian Mbappe didn't score 1 but 2. He said, nope, not happening today. So we'll have to give him a bit of a grill. But yeah, it looks like some of these are set in stone. Alex, do you think it's all set in stone and done for Aston Villa and Club Brugge? Obviously, that match was happening as we just started the show, but 3-1 in the end. Is that enough for them to relax a little bit at Villa Park next week?
Relax, no, but I think it's enough to see them through to the quarterfinals. I think, especially being at Villa Park, we know that crowd can be really loud and really get behind the team and be that 12th man, similar to Dortmund tonight. And obviously they weren't able to capitalise on that. But I think Villa, with the way that they're playing, I think if you'd asked me 2 or 3 months ago, would Villa have reached the quarterfinals, I would have been doubtful. They went through that little dip in form, but Unai Emery's really picked them up. And I think that January transfer window, if I was giving out grades, I've given them an A+ for those signings in January, and they've been fantastic ever since. Obviously, good wins in the Premier League as well to boot, and they're still contenders, arguably favourites for that FA Cup trophy alongside Manchester City in the quarterfinals. Well, they got 1 foot in the quarterfinals. I think they should have what it takes to see Club Brugge off in the second leg next week. I have seen, just touching on the PSV-Arsenal game quickly, the headline of the night. PSV have Flamingo, but Arsenal have done it all on 1 leg tonight.
Good play on words.
Wow, wow, wow. Whoever came up with that, really, you've done it. Oh, that's going to be horrible, yeah.
I have to give credit to
Yeah,
the rise.
please.
Henry Winter.
Henry Winter, all right, absolute class. Yeah, if you send that my way, please, I'll be sending that to all the football meme chats that I'm in. We all get under each other's skin. Yeah, Arsenal pretty much set into going to the quarterfinals, and we'll take on, like we said, Atletico or Real Madrid, to be determined, as that game only finished 2-1 for Real Madrid. And then Dortmund and Lille, guys. Let's talk about this one, because this one is probably the one that is the most unknown right now, because it's back to 0-0, obviously. And what does Dortmund need to change in this second leg, Angel, in order to get past Lille at home next weekend, or next week in France?
They just need to stop playing. Yeah. Like they have the play. That's the thing. Like, they have the players. So it's not a case of we don't have good players. I'm looking at the Dortmund setup. There's Pascal Gross, there's Karim Adeyemi, who is the only person who showed up tonight. There's Guirassy, who's like the highest goal scorer currently. And there's Julian Brandt. At the back line, there's Emre Can, with his so much experience. He has played in the Premier League. He's an exceptional player. Also played with Real Madrid. Nico Schlotterbeck, Stevenson, even Julian Ryerson. These Sabitzer in the midfield as well. Yeah. These are exceptional players. So it's not an issue of we do not have the right crop of players or we do not have the proper coach. They have Niko Kovac, a very well-experienced coach. So what they need to do is to just start playing. I'm sure that he's giving them all the tools that they need to get the game going. But at the end of the day, he cannot get into the pitch and do the job for them. Although I would say today that they met a very tough opposition in Lille, because Lille were well organized in defense. You can't take that away from them. They tried to set up in a way that made things difficult for Guirassy, not to have those open spaces. Every time he had the ball, there was somebody on him to intercept, and there were people intercepting the passes from getting to him, and anytime he got the ball, there was somebody on him to take it. So it wasn't like, oh, he wasn't stepping up. It was the fact that the Lille players were doing the job that they need to do. So I think Niko Kovac needs to go back to the drawing board or wherever his iPad or whatever he's using and ask himself, like, what do I need to do differently to break down this Lille side when I go to France? Because it's going to be a very difficult one, but they can do it if they want to.
If they want to. I think Lille also needed to kind of capitalize in the final third, though, as well. Like we said, Alex, Jonathan David was left alone a little bit in the middle there. So both teams, I think, in terms of their forwards, weren't able to do as much as we know they could, especially with Jonathan David and Serhei Guirassy specifically.
Yeah, I think disappointing night for Dortmund with, like you said there, the firepower that they have, not being able to make the most of that home crowd behind them and having that 12th man. And now it's a challenge. They have to go to Lille and get a result. It's not going to be easy. I think this is probably the one tie that really is 50-50. I can't put it either way.
Yeah.
And Lille will be really happy with that result, to be able to come from behind and get the draw. And I think two very different feelings in those dressing rooms tonight. A disappointed one on the home end and a buoyant but motivated one on the away end, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. Just looking back to Arsenal and their very pretty situation that they're sitting in right now, knowing that they don't have to do much in the second leg, basically, besides show up. Angel, they've actually had a good Champions League campaign, considering they finished, I think, fourth out of the 8 teams that went through. They didn't have to play knockout football. And now they're starting their round of 16, winning 7-1, meaning that the second leg is, they can relax.
Yeah, they can
just. Are we overlooking Arsenal? Are we just taking what we know from the Premier League and the fact that they're out of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and throwing that into their Champions League campaign, even though the Champions League campaign has been all right?
Yeah, it's the fact that also we haven't seen them in the Champions League for a long time. So when we think the Champions League, we don't think Arsenal fans.
Well, we saw them last year and then they fell.
Yeah, exactly. So they were back, but they didn't make any statement that makes us know. So they have to consistently do it, and this is a good sign for them. I mean, they've built on what they started last season. But in the case of Arsenal, I think they started the campaign with against PSV. And it was a good one for them. So I wasn't even surprised that they solved this game, but not with the scoreline, obviously. But we need to also begin to give Mikel Arteta and his men some bit of, some benefit of the doubt and to trust them. Because we watch the Premier League a lot and we see how much they've bottled chances. We just, we do not have that confidence in them anymore. But we need to reinstate that confidence. And also, when you look at the fact that they're doing this without their key players, there's no Bukayo Saka, there's no Kai Havertz, there's no Gabriel Jesus, there's no Gabriel Martinelli. These are players who can do damage. And if they're back in the setup, they're going to be unstoppable. So I think we need to also begin to give Arsenal. But then they also need to, build that confidence in us. You have to be consistent, and you have to do it not just against them, but against the big boys. So if they progress, which they will, and they face either Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, and they're able to put up a very good fight, then maybe the respect is going to come.
Yeah, oh my God, can you imagine if Real Madrid is the team to go through and then Arsenal knock Real Madrid as the champion? No, sorry, just, my brain is can't even really...
I know
think about that.
There's going to be a certain KlintonCod sweating this weekend. Arsenal, Man United. 7 goals coming off that. United, of course, playing on Thursday night in the Europa League.
Against Real Sociedad.
Not going to be pretty.
Not going to be pretty. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but time will tell, I guess, here. And it shows Arsenal, no striker, I guess, no problem. They scored 7 goals. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. Regarding tomorrow, we have some predictions here. Markinde did say 7-1 for Benfica, and then he changed it to 4-2. And then we have outstanding Folaba saying 6-2 for Barcelona. Angel, it seems like the people are agreeing with you in that no matter which way it's going to be goal galore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sweating.
You're going to be stressing because your team is going to be playing. But, I mean, it should be a comfortable win for Barcelona. What are we talking
I think
about,
also
Sarah?
the form that Barcelona are in right now, too.
Yeah.
They, like, yes, we can say that they did draw 4-4 to Atletico in the Copa del Rey semifinal, but it's a semifinal of a Copa del Rey.
And it's Atletico as well.
It's a difficult game. I mean, like, and I was at that match. It was so chaotic, and it was only the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes that they really slipped up. But besides that, I mean, they've been smashing everything, and they've been scoring with conviction. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that we see that this is a team that can score a lot of goals, and goals by
different individuals too. Anybody can score in the Barcelona team. If it's not, if it's
had 2 over the weekend,
Yeah.
just for fun. Like,
Lamine Yamal has been creating, but people have been scoring. You know, I mean, it's amazing. Dani Olmo is one threat that most people do not actually avert their mind to. He's exceptional, in my opinion. But you don't give him. It's the same way with Rodrigo. You don't take note of them. You don't give them the praises that they deserve. But they can also win you games when you least expect. We've seen it whether with Barcelona or in the Spanish national team setup.
I think that was the thing. It was the win with the Spanish team in the Euros and what he did, especially for those last 2 matches, and then the move from Leipzig to Barcelona, where he just really flourished under Flick and in that position. I think people are really starting to look at Dani Olmo as a serious footballer and a serious threat, and I think he's going to be relevant for, like, the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he is. You know, when I look back at Barcelona a few years ago, we're looking at the likes of Gavi, Pedri. Pedri is still doing great things. Gavi, Pedri, Ansu Fati. Nobody expected the likes of Dani Olmo or the likes of Lamine Yamal to, you know, come up and be the ones, you know, doing things for Barcelona. I'm talking in terms of young stars. But the youngsters that have proven themselves over the years are the people that we least expect. The ones that we had, like, so much trust in or so much faith in rebuilding the squad have not been the ones who have done it. And I've been impressed with what Barcelona has done so far with the financial issues that they had and how much they have managed to bounce back and what Hansi Flick has done since taking over the side. It has been good, and it'll be shocking if they get to, you know, draw against Benfica or just lose by a very slim margin. It'll be shocking to us.
I think the one thing, though, is that even if it doesn't go Barcelona's way tomorrow, knowing that I think it will. But knowing that the second leg is at home, and this is a team that, like I keep saying, they can score a lot of goals, I still wouldn't feel nervous because of that second leg. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think they'll get the job done tomorrow, if I'm honest. Well, someone here wrote, Ebenezer wrote 8-1 for Barcelona, and you know what? I hope you're right. I want to be in Arsenal's position. I want to see all the kids start at the second game. It would just be for fun. But yeah, I think that's one thing with Barcelona is that no matter what the situation is, they're a team known for what they create and their homegrown products. And it doesn't matter what era of football it is. It doesn't matter their financial situation. This is what Barcelona is known for, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. The La Masia, it's the work that they've done. Amazing.
I do want to ask you guys for a score prediction for tomorrow's Liverpool and PSG game, because that is probably I think it's the most exciting match because it's 2 league leaders of England and France, obviously, and teams that you wouldn't see play all the time, like a Bayern Munich, Leverkusen, let's say. So, Alex, I'll start with you because I know that you're still back in Arn slot in the boys in red. But what do you think the score is going to be? Not to give away your booking code just yet.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool? Okay.
Salah.
Darwin Nunez.
No, I have a feeling Dominic Szoboszlai is going to score.
Oh, I scored over the weekend. Yeah, good one. Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
A 2-2 draw.
Yes, I would say I'm looking at Dominic Szoboszlai as well as Mo Salah. And then for PSG, I would say Kvaratskhelia.
Wow.
I want to see him on the score sheet again, and I think that what better time to do it other than in the big game against Liverpool. There's Ousmane Dembele as well.
I'd say Dembele is going to score tomorrow.
And then Bakola, who has had a great game in the last last round that got them to this stage, and that young man has been has been remarkable since I saw him in the Euros. When I first saw him, I was like, what is he doing here? But he's proven to us why he's actually in the squad. And I expect him to be that one person that could rescue them if things are not going their way.
Absolutely. For me, if it was going to be 2 goal scorers, I think right now I'd say Dembele and Barcola, because both of them have been in top form. And, I mean, I think they're a bit more clinical. They have that extra ability to finish those really special goals. So I think if they're going to get past the likes of Konate, Van Dijk, and Alisson, I mean, let's not say that that is an easy feat whatsoever. It's got to be someone who can, you know, shoot a screamer from outside the box on the diagonal, which we know Ousmane Dembele can do. But, yeah, we'll have to see. And for Liverpool, I think it's inevitable that Mo Salah is going to score. I think if we know one thing about Liverpool, it's that, well, Salah's going to score on the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Let's look a little, though, to the Dortmund, Leverkusen and Bayern Munich match. Because, Alex, I know your English talisman, Harry Kane, is obviously on Bayern Munich. But Bayern Munich have been absolutely disappointing in the Champions League this season. And, yes, I know they are leading the Bundesliga right now. But I think we have to separate the two, as we do with a lot of these teams. Like we spoke about Dortmund earlier. It doesn't seem like it's enough.
No.
And it almost doesn't make sense when you look at the amount of talent that this team has. Does it come down to Vincent Kompany and the lack of experience that he has?
I think so. I think we've seen in the big moments this season, the big games, even in the Der Klassikers, and the big games as well against Bayer Leverkusen, where they lost in the DFB Pokal and drew 0-0 in that game just recently. They've played well in some big games this season. They're top of the league for a reason. They deserve to be top of the league. They've been the best team in Germany this season. But in Europe, like you said, it's been a completely different story. And I think Bayer Leverkusen last season, obviously reaching the final, I think with Xabi Alonso and the players that they have, I think on paper it's a very even game. You perhaps even say on paper Bayern should be the favourites with the players that they have. But I think tactically, Xabi Alonso might just have that advantage over Vincent Kompany. The second leg being at the Bayer Arena as well will help them a lot. They can come into tomorrow night knowing that if this game is still in the balance heading into next week, this is very, very much in their favour. So, yeah, I think Vincent Kompany has a lot of thinking to do ahead of tomorrow night if he's going to keep his side in this tie, because if they're not on the game tomorrow night, they could find themselves out of this tie before we even play the second leg.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe because of one angel, Victor Boniface, from one talisman to another here.
I really hope for his sake that Bayern goes through, or they win the game tomorrow. I mean, you would expect with the way that both teams have been playing in the recent games, because they say a team is as good as its last game. How Bayern has fared in the UEFA Champions League this season, they have struggled. They have not been the Bayern that we've known them to be from like 2012, 2013 season. And but against Bayer Leverkusen, since Xabi Alonso took over the reins of affairs, they have been fantastic. Had a fairy tale finish in the Bundesliga, breaking Bayern's dominance last season. So what better way to do it other than on the European and continental level to make a statement as well. So Victor Boniface, a major talisman, very instrumental in their win of the Bundesliga last season. And Xabi Alonso has so much trust in him, and I would expect to see that he rises up to the occasion. You know, we talk about Ademola Lookman when he won the African Cup of Nations, African best player, the best player for the CAF best player of the year. And we talked about the fact that it was what he did in the Europa League. So it's not enough to do it on the league level, which he did with Atalanta. He also did it at the European level, at the Europa League as well. So that is something that Bayern needs to do, and that is something that Victor Boniface also needs to do for his team, to also replicate what they do in the league week in, week out at the continental level. So I would expect to see, you know, I'll be rooting for him.
Of course, yeah. It just seems like Bayer Leverkusen in general, managers aside, they just have a little bit more bite in them with their players. They really go for it with, you know, Boniface and Wirtz and there's Frimpong and Grimaldo. Like, these players, I just feel are the kind of players that have the mentality. And there's one of the goal scorers this evening, Rodrigo, speaking to the press. Oh, live translation, please, Alex.
Go on then. Well, I can't actually hear it at the moment, so I can't give you a live translation.
Distinto hoy do que normalmente es contra Atlético. Normalmente atacamos todo el tiempo y ellos solo
So
se
we tackle
defienden.
the
Hoy
time.
han tenido un poco más de balón y nosotros normalmente no estamos tan acostumbrados con eso. Creo
We're
que nos
usually
costó
not
un poco.
used to having so much of the ball.
Pero al final podríamos marcar otros goles y bueno, ya está.
score 2
Ahora ya
goals
no
in the end
tenemos que
and
pensar en eso, pensar en la ventaja que tenemos
Have to think
y
about that
aprovechar
and the
el
advantage
detalle.
going
Rodrigo,
into
qué
the
manera de
second leg.
empezar. El gol es una maravilla, el control, cómo te calientas, cómo la pegas, cómo lo has visto.
No, muy bien. Creo que esta jugada hago mucho con Feder en los entrenamientos.
Worked that play
Él
with
me ha
Fede
visto muy
quite a lot.
bien ahí el movimiento, ¿no? Y luego el regate para adentro, el chute con la zurda. Bueno, como he dicho, hacemos mucho eso en los entrenamientos
We
y
do
ya ha
that a lot
salido
in
bien el
training
partido.
and
¿Cuál es mejor gol, el tuyo o el de Brahim?
Bueno, dos golazos, ¿no?
two really
Siempre
good
voy
goals.
a quedar con el mío, ¿no? Pero de Brahim fue un golazo también.
¿Puedes
You're
enseñar
saying
el
a difficult choice
a
there
cámara,
between him and Brahim's
el
goal,
trofeo
probably
del
his.
Uno más, Rodri, ¿eh? Lo tuyo y la Champions es una maravilla.
Sí, sí, la verdad que me encanta mucho esta competición, las
So
cosas
I
salen
love
muy
this
bien para
competition
mí.
a lot.
Bueno, espero seguir así.
Rodrigo,
And hopefully we can continue playing like this.
los compañeros brasileños.
muito especial. Eu queria que você analisasse um pouco o jogo. O que vocês pensaram para a partida de estratégia, o que deu certo, o que não funcionou, confronto totalmente aberto. Eu queria uma análise só geral do jogo, da sua atuação mais uma vez especial na Champions.
Bom, primeiro da minha atuação muito feliz, né? Como eu
very
falo,
happy with
como eu
the
acabei de
victory.
falar, essa competição é muito especial.
very
Eu
special
sinto que eu tenho
competition.
algo com ela, eu sinto que as coisas sempre acontecem comigo nessa competição. É uma relação muito boa. O jogo foi bem difícil, como eu respondi aqui. Eles surpreenderam a gente um pouco. Normalmente os jogos contra eles a gente está acostumado a atacar o tempo inteiro. Eles ficam lá atrás. O jogo da La Liga foi assim, que eles acharam um gol no primeiro tempo.
I did my best.
Oh, I really wanted you to keep going there. Obviously,
My
Rodrigo
Portuguese
switched over from
A
Spanish.
little bit rusty.
To be fair, his Spanish was nearly Portuguese at that point. Like he's so Brazilian when
Yeah.
he speaks his Spanish. But obviously, the Brazilian is very happy with the result after scoring and winning that match against Atleti. All right, guys, that is it from us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the last 3.5 hours with us. We're doing it all again tomorrow. And like I said, some very, very big matchups. So join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. WAT time. Champions League round of 16, day 2 will be here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.